All right, so we're starting way back in the day, 66 million years ago, setting the scene. We see this massive skull, basically a warning sign that some absolute unit used to run these parts. These walking lunchboxes are screaming their heads off, and you just know they're on the menu. Then this colossal foot slams down, and you can feel the ground shake through the damn screen. And boom, it's the king himself, the Tyrannosaurus, finally making his grand entrance. This dude's tail is the size of a bus, just casually strolling over his future meals. The narrator's gassing him up, talking about his killer jaws like it's a car commercial. They're dropping his weight class and stats like he's about to enter a UFC fight. And there it is. The T-Rex just grabs one of those screaming dinos like a goddamn chew toy. He finishes the job with a stomp just to make sure everyone knows who's boss. The T-Rex is roaring over his fresh kill, making sure everyone knows he runs this block. But the story hits us with a however, hinting that not every T-Rex gets the 5-star treatment. We get a quick reality check that some dinos just get folded by bad luck or sickness. Then the scene cuts to a random beach and you can just feel the vibe shift. And here's our actual MC, a different T-Rex who looks like he's on his last damn breath. Our boy is just washed up on the sand, looking less like a king and more like a sad lizard. The camera pans up to a palm tree, really hammering home that stranded and screwed aesthetic. Some random pterosaur is just cruising through the sky, minding its own business for now. Then this sky vulture spots our boy's body and is like, "Hold up, is that a free meal?" The pterosaur is already thinking about taking a bite, showing zero respect for the supposed king. The narrator confirms this sky vulture is about to risk it all for a T-Rex-sized happy meal. Beaky lands looking goofy as hell, all excited like he just found a 20 on the ground. A close-up on our boy shows he's completely out of it, not a single thought behind those eyes. The sky vulture creeps closer, giving the body a good sniff like he's checking the expiration date. He's doing a whole walk around, noting the lack of stank and deducing it's a fresh kill. Then he notices our boy's ribs are showing, realizing this T-Rex has been skipping meals for a while. The bird's just roasting our guy from above, calling him a skinny legend for starving to death. This dude is still talking to himself, piecing together the whole tragic backstory before taking a bite. He finally gets brave and goes in for a taste, about to make the worst decision of his life. And there it is, he pecks our boy and gets a face full of blood for his troubles. He chose violence. The sky vulture is screaming his little bird lungs out, instantly regretting every decision he's ever made. And our boy just springs to life, dragging this idiot by the face like he just woke up from a nap. The tables turn so fast as our guy gets his first meal, and the sky vulture is now the happy meal. That's the eye of a dude who was playing possum the whole damn time, and he is not happy. The camera pans away because what's happening to that bird is definitely not PG-13. We get a peaceful beach shot, like we're supposed to forget the absolute murder that just went down. A random seashell appears, trying to distract us from the fact that our boy just went feral. And there's the aftermath. The sky vulture's body gets dropped on the sand. He played a stupid game. Our guy is just looking at his own foot, probably shocked he still has the strength to stand. He's over the body, realizing it's been days since he ate, and this dumbass just delivered himself. Our boy's doing the math, realizing it's been 3.5 days since he last ate. He's looking to the sky, saying it's a shame to eat this fresh pterosaur all by himself. And then this dude starts talking to a skull he named Wilson. He's officially lost his mind. We get a close-up of Wilson, who is just a random-ass skull our boy has adopted. Our guy is just staring off into space, probably waiting for the skull to answer him back. He gets pissy that Wilson isn't hungry and just drops the dead bird. Bro is beefing with a fossil. Suddenly there's some rustling in the trees, making you wonder if he's actually alone. The narrator hits us with a shot of a dino paradise, just to remind us what our boy is missing. Then it zooms out to show he's stuck on some tiny, godforsaken island in the middle of the ocean. We get a flash of some sea monster absolutely wrecking another dino, teasing the next chapter. The narrator is back, reminding us this is the tragic story of our boy slowly starving to death. Our guy walks off, reminiscing about how tasty that sky vulture was, like it was a 5-star meal. The story hits us with a road not taken line over a shot of his island prison. Our boy is trying to sleep, but some chirping in the bushes is already ruining his morning. This random-ass bird is his new alarm clock, and our guy looks absolutely thrilled about it. He sits up, ready to start another glorious day of doing absolutely nothing on this rock. Our dude lets out a sigh, already bored out of his mind with his island life. We get another scenic beach shot, really hammering home the whole nothing ever happens here vibe. He's doing his morning walk, surrounded by pterosaurs who clearly don't see him as a threat. Our guy clarifies he's not patrolling, he's just hoping some other idiot bird lands in his mouth. Our guy's still salty that the only thing that's washed up recently was him. Meanwhile, these flying rats are feasting on fish, just rubbing it in his face. He's just staring, absolutely seething with jealousy over a damn sardine. Our dude's having a full-blown pity party, feeling like the only one starving on this island. And we're getting a flashback because apparently things weren't always this dead. He's remembering the day he washed up, looking completely baffled by his new surroundings. That's the face of a dude who just realized he's not in Kansas anymore. Then he sees this absolute unit of a turtle just chilling on the sand. Turns out it wasn't just one turtle, it was a whole damn turtle convention on the beach. And these things are just screaming their heads off, making this whole situation even more surreal. The narrator is just confirming that the beach was absolutely crawling with these walking appetizers. Our guy is just standing in the middle of this turtle mosh pit, realizing he's hit the jackpot. And of course, my man is practically drooling, ready to turn this beach into a buffet. He immediately cracks one open like a goddamn pistachio, and the turtle is not happy about it. The whole beach turns into a crime scene as our boy just starts working his way through the menu. Our dude lets out a satisfied burp, confirming that turtle meat is officially on his favorites list. We get another one of these scenic palm tree shots because nothing says paradise like turtle murder. Back then, our boy was full of hope, thinking he'd never starve with this endless turtle supply. He's even calling the island a perfect den, thinking he's got the whole place to himself. The plan was to just recover and head back to the mainland. Bro had no idea what was coming. The narrator's getting all poetic about night turning into day, trying to give us some false hope. Our boy is just passed out, thinking his luck is finally about to turn around. Oh, you sweet summer child. And there it is, the big but. Because we all knew this paradise thing was too good to be true. My man is back on the beach, and you can just see all that hope has been completely drained from him. He's looking absolutely gassed, the reality of his shitty situation finally starting to sink in. He realizes the ocean current is a one-way ticket to this island, and he's officially trapped. To make things worse, the all-you-can-eat turtle buffet has officially closed for business. The realization hits him like a ton of bricks, and he just starts screaming into the jungle. My man is letting out a roar of pure, unfiltered despair, knowing he's completely screwed. He's just standing in the water, screaming at the sky that he's gonna starve to death here. The narrator's still talking, and even Wilson the Skull is shaking from our boy's existential crisis. Our guy starts his morning routine, stepping into the water like he's clocking into a job he hates. He's got that 1,000-yard stare, already completely done with the day before it's even started. The sun comes up, and my man is just basking in the warm glow of his own misery. He's done his daily patrol, confirming that the ocean's delivery service is still on strike. Since the beach is a bust, our boy decides it's time to move on to his big brain survival strategy, and his master plan is to just play dead again, hoping another idiot bird falls for the oldest trick in the book. My man is just lying there, waiting for a meal to deliver itself. This is peak lazy hunting. He's remembering how this dumbass tactic actually works, snagging another sky vulture for breakfast. After his meal, he's taking a sip of water, trying to make his meager supplies last on this rock. My man's rationing his water, knowing this sad little puddle is all he's got. He's already calling it a day, looking like he's completely over this survival bullshit. Our dude's walking off, admitting that bird snack barely even touched the sides. Some random bird is chirping, probably mocking him for being stuck on the ground. He's just trudging through the jungle, looking absolutely defeated by life. Now he's just sitting on the beach, staring at the ocean like he's in a sad music video. And of course, he's back to talking to his imaginary friend, Wilson the Skull. He's putting Wilson on lookout duty, like a damn fossil is gonna spot a rescue boat. Wilson is just sitting there, being a skull, offering zero help whatsoever. What a freeloader. Our boy is literally begging the skull to talk back before admitting he's losing his mind. Our guy's just staring into the jungle, completely checked out after his chat with Wilson. The story hits us with an anyway, like we're supposed to just move on from his mental breakdown. He's talking about having a faint hope, which is a bold-faced lie considering his current state. His grand plan is to just wait for a dead body to wash ashore. Peak survival strategy right there. He's also hoping another T-Rex shows up, probably so he can finally stop talking to a skull. And then we get the bombshell. My man's been stuck on this rock for 20 years. Our boy's looking up at the sky, probably letting that 2-decade sentence really sink in. That's the face of a dude who has completely given up on life. The hope is officially gone. He just collapses on the beach. Another day of his sad, pathetic island life officially over. Then we get a flashback to when he was a kid named Zeke, talking to his mom. Oh, the feels. Baby Zeke is talking a big game, saying he's going to be a total unit when he grows up. And then we see his mom's body, completely folded and bloody on the ground. Well, that escalated quickly. The narrator just hits us with a hard no, shattering all of little Zeke's dreams in one panel. And there's our boy, just a little dude, realizing life is about to get real ugly. His mom's ghost is basically telling him he can never be like her, which is a hell of a thing to hear. And our guy wakes up from that nightmare, jolting awake like he just touched a live wire. He's back on his shitty island, panting and realizing that was just another trauma-fueled dream. The birds are chirping again, completely oblivious to the existential dread our boy just went through. My man is just staring into the jungle looking like he's seen a damn ghost. He looks over at his only friend, Wilson the Skull, who is still offering zero emotional support. Our boy is trying to process his nightmare by talking it out with his fossil friend. He's having a full-on monologue about helplessness, reliving that childhood trauma. My man is asking a literal skull for its opinion on his existential dread. He's getting pissed again, demanding an answer from the one thing that can't talk back. We get a random shot of the ocean, probably to give us a break from the insanity. And he's back to screaming at Wilson, completely losing his shit over the silent treatment. His little tantrum scares off all the birds, cementing his status as the island's lunatic. Our guy is catching his breath, looking absolutely spent after that mental breakdown. Wilson the Skull is just chilling, completely unfazed by the drama. What a legend. A close-up on our boy's eye, and you can just tell a screw has come completely loose. Our boy is finally admitting that his skull buddy can't answer him, stating the obvious. He's just talking to himself now, reminding the skull that it's, dead. My man just ditches Wilson and sulks off into the jungle, officially done with the conversation. We get a moody shot of the trees because this is his sad boy era now. Our dude is just staring up at the sky, probably contemplating his many, many bad life choices. He's standing on a cliff, getting all dramatic and wondering if a storm's about to roll in. My man's reminiscing about his glory days when a little rain didn't completely ruin his mood. Now he's taking the weather personally, saying it's mocking him for being old and washed up. He's just trudging along, having a full-blown crisis about accomplishing nothing with his life. And we end on a sad, lonely shot of the ocean, just to really drive the depression home. Our boy is back to his sad walk, admitting he just wants to go home. The depression is real. And now he's hallucinating a skeleton version of himself, asking if that's even possible. Bro is officially losing it. A close-up on his eye shows he is absolutely not okay with this new development. The skeleton is just laying out the facts, showing him how pathetic he looks next to his former self. His inner demon is getting in his face, asking what the hell he'd even do with his washed-up body. The skeleton keeps roasting him, calling him a skinny old man who could drop dead any second. Our boy is trying to deny it, but his inner voice is just hitting him with cold, hard facts. The skeleton confirms it's all in his head, which somehow makes this whole situation even worse. And there's the final blow. His inner voice tells him all hope is gone and his life is ruined. That's the look of a man whose own brain just told him to give up. He's completely broken. His inner voice is still cooking him, saying he's already lost the game of life before it even started. The skeleton lays out the options. Starve to death or die of old age on this rock, what a choice. His inner demon is just spitting facts, asking what's the point of even hoping to go back. The skeleton gets all up in his grill, telling him that hope is the real poison here. And then the skeleton just melts away, leaving our boy with that final "until you die" message. My man is just standing there, completely speechless after that therapy session from hell. We just get a shot of the waves, really hammering home that "you're trapped forever" vibe. That's the face of a dude who just had his soul surgically removed by his own subconscious. He's just standing there, planted on the beach like he's part of the scenery now. And then he takes a step, crushing some poor little crab. I guess he's choosing violence. Our boy is just walking into the ocean, leaving his last set of footprints on this godforsaken island. He takes a step into the water, and you just know this isn't for a morning swim. My man keeps walking deeper into the ocean, not even looking back. He's on a mission. He's just trudging through the water, fully committed to whatever dumbass plan he's cooked up. Our dude is straight up contemplating taking the easy way out. This got dark real fast. And there he goes, just letting himself sink, wondering if this is how he finally checks out. He's thinking about his whole miserable existence while literally drowning himself. What a mood. My man's already planning his funeral, imagining sharks turning him into an underwater buffet. He's picturing some sea monster just absolutely housing his dead body. Damn, dude. His final thought is that he'll be forgotten forever. Bro is deep in his emo phase. He's still underwater, imagining his body getting ripped apart piece by piece. My man's wondering if he can get a do-over while picturing his bones being picked clean. Then some random sea lizard just pops out of the water, screaming for no damn reason. This idiot just boops our boy on the nose, and our guy is too depressed to even react. The sea lizard just dips, leaving our dude standing there like he just got pranked. My man snaps out of it, realizing he almost checked out for real over a damn fish. That's the face of a guy who just stared into the abyss, and the abyss went boop. He's looking down at himself, probably wondering why the hell he's still breathing. And of course, the universe decides to piss on him some more with a sudden downpour. He's back to his pity party, calling himself a coward for not even being good at dying. Our boy is back on the ground, having a full-blown emo monologue about dying alone on this rock. Even Wilson the Skull is getting rained on while our dude calls himself pathetic for being scared to die. He's just staring at the stormy ocean, having a classic "how the hell did my life get here" moment. My man is deep in his feelings, realizing his life turned out to be a complete dumpster fire. He just collapses in the rain, completely defeated and just wanting to go home. The man is broken. The storm's over, and of course the damn birds are back to ruin his morning with their chirping. The ocean is all calm now, like it didn't just witness a T-Rex's failed suicide attempt. Our guy wakes up looking absolutely thrilled to be alive for another day of pure misery. The birds are disrespectfully sitting on Wilson, while the narrator reminds us this ain't a hero's journey. We get a close-up of our boy shedding a single tear. The existential dread is officially at max level. Suddenly we cut to some random little dino just passed out on a rock, and then his eyes just snap open, like he just remembered he left the oven on. This little dude is asking our boy who he is, while the narrator gets all poetic on us. The story decides to give us a full-blown recap, just in case we forgot the last 200 panels. We get the highlight reel of our guy's tragic backstory and how he ended up on this rock. And just to rub it in, the narrator reminds us he's been rotting here for 20 years. But the plot finally decides to happen, and our boy looks like he's about to have a panic attack. Some little feet touch down, officially ending his 2-decade-long solo career. Hold up, it's a 2-for-1 special, and they're looking around like a couple of lost tourists. This little punk has the audacity to call our guy old man right to his damn face. Our boy is just staring down at this tiny dude, completely baffled that something is talking back to him that isn't a skull. The narrator confirms that after 20 years, his first visitor is some innocent-looking kid who just washed up. My man is having a full-blown internal crisis, wondering how the hell this kid survived the storm and where his parents are. The little punk is already getting impatient, demanding to know our guy's name and where the hell they are. This kid is still screaming his demands, showing absolutely zero respect for his elders. What a little shit. Our boy is just sweating bullets, completely overwhelmed by having to hold a conversation after 2 decades of silence. The little dude is just wandering the beach while our guy tries to remember how to use his words. My man is just staring into space, completely short-circuiting from this unexpected social interaction. He finally introduces himself as Zeke, trying to play it cool like he hasn't been losing his mind for the last 20 years. Zeke flips it back on the kid, asking for his name. Bro is trying so hard to be a normal person right now. The little dude introduces himself as Nova, screaming it like he's announcing his mixtape drop. Zeke just rolls with it, telling Nova to follow him like he's suddenly a tour guide for this hellhole. My man walks off, promising to explain just how screwed they both are on this godforsaken rock. Nova just gives a little head tilt, completely unfazed by the giant, depressed lizard adopting him. We get a long shot of them walking, and the size difference is just ridiculous. It's bring your kid to work day. Nova is just staring up at the sky, completely mesmerized by the birds like a tourist in Times Square. Zeke's just got this dead-eyed stare, probably realizing he has to be a responsible adult now. Our boy's in his head, admitting he's just a washed-up old man who was ready to check out alone. He's still monologuing, processing that after all this time, a kid of his own species just washed up. Meanwhile, Nova is having the time of his life, running through a flock of birds without a care in the world. Zeke's overthinking this whole situation, realizing this kid's behavior is setting off all kinds of red flags. He's pointing out that Nova has zero survival instincts, just casually strolling with a giant stranger. My man just straight up asks the kid if he's scared, trying to figure out if he's brave or just dumb. Nova just looks back at him, all innocent and confused like the thought never even crossed his mind. Zeke decides to test the little dude's nerve, basically asking him, "What if I just ate you right now?" And the kid hits him with some galaxy brain logic that leaves Zeke completely speechless. This kid's got no chill. We get a quick ocean shot while Zeke tries to reboot his brain after getting outsmarted by a toddler. Zeke switches to detective mode, grilling Nova about his family and how he ended up on this rock. And just like that, Nova's whole vibe shifts. You just know a tragic backstory is about to drop. The kid stops dead in his tracks, looking down like he's about to unload some serious trauma. Nova just casually drops that his parents disappeared, and Zeke is not emotionally equipped for this conversation. The kid keeps it cryptic, saying he found them again, which sounds ominous as hell. Then he just mentions he fell in the water and took a nap. Bro, that's called drowning. And when he woke up, he was just chilling on the beach like he'd been on vacation. He finishes his story by saying he woke up to Zeke's ugly, depressed face staring at him. The kid wraps up his insane backstory with explanation over, leaving Zeke completely speechless. Zeke's trying to process this kid's trauma dump, realizing some serious shit must have happened. My man's connecting the dots, figuring out this kid's weirdly chill attitude is a trauma response. And now Nova has the audacity to demand Zeke's life story, calling him old man again. Zeke completely dodges the question, announcing they've arrived at their destination, more sand and trees. Zeke presents his foot with a ta-da, like he's showing off his shitty one-bedroom apartment. He explains they've done a full circle, and Nova is looking around completely baffled by this revelation. Our boy just stares into the sky, trying to find the words to explain to a kid that his life is over. He decides to just rip the band-aid off and tell the kid the whole depressing truth. Zeke starts with the basics, asking Nova if he even knows what an island is, and the kid is clueless. Our boy gives him the dictionary definition, basically a crash course in "you're never leaving." He keeps going, roasting his own island prison for being a tiny, cramped piece of garbage. Zeke's just laying it on thick, calling this place a good-for-nothing excuse for a home. And there it is, the full view of their prison, as Zeke confirms they are officially and completely stuck. Nova just stares back, completely unfazed, like being trapped on an island is just a minor inconvenience. Zeke's continuing his welcome speech by explaining the menu is just whatever dead shit washes up. He then points out the only neighbors are birds and the water supply is a joke. What a sales pitch. My man's showing off their sad little puddle, explaining that this is their entire water source. And to top it all off, the weather is just a constant cycle of misery and rain. Zeke asks the kid if he gets how screwed they are, and Nova's just giving him a blank stare. Our boy drops the final bomb, reminding the kid he's been rotting here for 20 years and never left. We get a nice aerial shot of their island prison, just to really drive home the no escape vibe. Zeke's basically telling Nova he's just as cursed as him for washing up on this godforsaken rock. And Nova just stands there, completely unfazed by the news that his life is officially over. Zeke lays it out cold. You're stuck here until you die. Bro is not sugarcoating this at all. We get a nice peaceful shot of the waves, because nothing says your life is over like a calm beach. Nova's just staring into space, processing the news that he's in a forever prison with a depressed old man. Zeke's in his head admitting he was just begging for company, and now he's completely overwhelmed. The kid just turns his head, still not saying a damn word. This little dude's poker face is legendary. Zeke's still monologuing, realizing he's more confused than happy about his new roommate. Our boy's calling this a miracle for himself, finally getting a break from talking to a damn skull. But he knows for this kid, washing up here is the worst luck in the history of bad luck. Nova's just standing there, taking it all in. You'd think he'd be screaming, but nope. Zeke's just assuming the kid is in shock, because that's the only logical reason for this level of chill. My man's justifying his brutal honesty, saying he had to rip the band-aid off and kill all hope immediately. Zeke's in his head, feeling guilty for being a washed-up old man who just crushed a kid's spirit. But Nova just hits him with an, "Is that all?" Like he just sat through a boring timeshare presentation. Our boy is completely stunned, his brain just short-circuited from the kid's lack of a reaction. The kid clarifies, asking if that's really the whole depressing speech, and Zeke is not ready for this. Zeke confirms, and Nova looks like he just found out he's going to Disneyland. This little psycho is literally screaming with joy, calling his new island prison totally awesome. Our boy's brain has officially left the chat. He cannot comprehend this kid's reaction. Nova lays out his galaxy brain logic. If it's just them and some birds, that's a win for him. Zeke is screaming back, trying to explain the basic concept of starving to death to this weirdly optimistic kid. And Nova drops the trauma bomb. He's just happy the people who killed his mom aren't here. Well, damn. Zeke's brain is buffering, trying to understand how this kid's logic even exists on this plane of reality. My man is losing his mind, trying to explain that being okay isn't the issue when you're in a forever prison. He's still screaming at the kid, trying to drill the whole stuck-for-life concept into his tiny head. And Nova just hits him with a "no, I'll get out," completely ignoring 20 years of evidence to the contrary. That's the eye of a man who has been completely defeated by a child's unshakable, illogical optimism. Zeke tries to call his bluff, asking for the master plan, and Nova just admits he's winging it. The kid's entire escape plan is based on something his dad said. Bro, your dad ain't here. Nova starts dropping some motivational poster bullshit about hope that he learned from his old man. This kid is giving a whole-ass TED talk on not giving up to the one guy who wrote the book on it. Zeke is just speechless, completely floored by this kid's insane level of main character energy. Zeke's just repeating the word hope, like he's trying to remember what it means. The kid's still giving his pep talk, and our boy realizes it's been decades since he's heard that word. My man just turns away, completely overwhelmed by this kid's main character energy. Zeke finally tells the kid to shut up, and Nova just looks at him like he's waiting for applause. Our boy calls the kid stubborn, finally realizing he's arguing with a wall of pure, unadulterated optimism. Zeke warns him not to come crying later, and Nova just happily agrees like it's part of the adventure. My man officially gives up and decides to just teach the kid how to survive this hellhole, and Nova is literally glowing, completely hyped to start his island survival training arc. The kid hits him with the old man again, and Zeke just accepts his fate as the grumpy grandpa. Nova runs off, and our boy realizes he's just accidentally adopted a kid who might have forgotten his name already. Zeke's already in dad mode, taking his new kid Nova on a tour of their sad little puddle. The narrator reminds us he's now stuck with this weirdly happy kid on his personal island of despair. Night falls, and Nova is just passed out next to Zeke like it's a damn sleepover. The kid is sleeping with a smile on his face, completely unbothered by his life-ending predicament. But Zeke is wide awake, pulling an all-nighter because he's suddenly got a kid to protect. We get a moody ocean shot which can only mean one thing. It's flashback o'clock. The story hits rewind, showing us a younger, beefier Zeke back in his prime. Some giant-ass bird feet land, and you just know a fight is about to break out. And it's a Quetzalcoatlus, a sky lizard the size of a giraffe, looking for a problem. Young Zeke is growling back, ready to show this flying rat why he's the king. Young Zeke lets out a roar, and the narrator is basically saying, get ready for some shit to go down. The story drops a lore bomb that T-Rex wasn't the only apex predator running the continent. And here's the other boss, the Quetzalcoatlus, casually snacking on some other poor dino. They're gassing this bird up, calling him the king of the skies with the wingspan of a damn bus. Then we see this little dude, who is absolutely terrified and about to be on the menu. Turns out these sky vultures were the biggest threat to baby T-Rexes, and Nova's having a trauma flashback. We get a full-on tourist map of their island prison, complete with all the depressing landmarks. The story rewinds to yesterday, with Zeke asking for a Yelp review and Nova calling the island tiny. Zeke's giving the island tour, showing off their sad little puddle and explaining the water rationing rules. And now for the main event, introducing Nova to Wilson, and the kid is already questioning Zeke's sanity. Zeke's trying to justify his crazy, explaining that just calling his best friend Skull is rude. Nova is just staring at Wilson, asking the one question we've all been thinking. You talk to it? Our boy is sweating, trying to play it off as a joke, but Nova just hits him with a hard no. Zeke's now giving a full-blown nature documentary, teaching the kid the difference between birds. The lesson continues with trees, and Nova looks like he'd rather be anywhere else right now. The little punk gets sassy, telling Zeke he's not a baby and our boy is not ready for the attitude. Zeke just walks off, admitting he was just excited to finally have someone to talk to who wasn't a fossil. My man decides it's time to get down to business and figure out how they're gonna eat. Nova perks up at the word food, looking like he hasn't eaten in a week. And Zeke just casually snatches a bird out of the sky. Lesson 1. Violence is always the answer. Nova's already a better hunter than Zeke, proudly showing off his first catch with his mouth full. Zeke's giving him a proud dad nod while the narrator reminds us they still need to figure out the food situation. The kid's now on the beach just housing a crab and calling it crunchy. This dude will eat anything. Now he's in the jungle eating lizards, saying they taste familiar. That's a weird-ass thing to say, my guy. Zeke's thinking Nova's good on food, but the kid hits him with the, what about you, old man? Our boy has to explain that a crab and a lizard is basically an appetizer for him. Zeke admits he usually just eats pterosaurs, which is his entire survival strategy right there. Nova's looking at the tiny birds, and Zeke has to clarify he's not snacking on pigeons. The kid asks if he's got some secret hunting technique, and you just know Zeke's about to get embarrassed. Our boy is sweating, trying to figure out how to explain his play dead like a loser strategy. Zeke decides it's time to teach Nova his secret hunting technique, and the kid is ready to learn. My man tells him to pay close attention, like he's about to reveal some ancient, powerful art form, and his master plan is to just lie there like a loser, asking for a pat on the back for his genius. The kid is just staring, completely unimpressed by the dumbest hunting strategy he's ever heard. Nova asks the obvious question, and Zeke's answer is basically, "Until I get lucky, dumbass." And after all that, my man comes back empty-handed, admitting his brilliant plan was a total bust. But Nova, the little ball of sunshine, is already trying to cheer up the grumpy old man. Our boy is actually getting emotional, probably because no one's been nice to him in 20 years. The kid's back on his motivational speaker bullshit, dropping another one of his dad's greatest hits. And Zeke just scoffs because the word luck officially left his vocabulary 2 decades ago. And his inner demon is back, calling Nova's whole good luck speech a load of crap. Zeke's back in his emo bag, thinking he'd be better off dead than suffering on this rock. His inner voice is spitting facts, saying all that's changed is now he's got another mouth to feed. The skeleton is getting all dramatic, calling itself the darkness in his heart. Bro, chill. His inner demon is already betting on how long it'll take for Zeke to get sick of the kid. We get another island shot as his brain reminds him there's nowhere to run from his problems. My man is wide awake, just letting his inner demons cook him all night long. The skeleton hits him with a mindfuck, saying if the hallucinations stop, it means he's dead. His inner voice signs off by calling him a useless old man. The disrespect is off the charts. And we end on a shot of a skull-shaped rock because this island is subtle like that. Our boy's on night watch, making sure nothing happens to the kid, while Wilson offers zero backup. Zeke's trying to get some sleep, basically telling his inner demons to shut the hell up for a minute. My man's having a philosophical moment, wondering if his luck is finally about to turn around. He's curled up around Nova, already in full-on protective dad mode after knowing the kid for a day. The next morning, a whole-ass triceratops washes up, and Nova is losing his little mind. Zeke can't believe his eyes. The universe just delivered a damn buffet to their doorstep. My man's about to dig in, thinking this is a reward for not completely giving up on life yesterday. He's doing the dad check, making sure the food is fresh enough for Nova before he lets him eat. Zeke's putting it all together, realizing the storm that brought Nova also delivered this free meal. And Nova's already taking a victory lap, hitting Zeke with the biggest "I told you so" of all time. Nova's just standing on the corpse, hitting Zeke with the smuggest "I told you so" in history. Zeke's just staring, realizing this tiny idiot might actually be right about the whole hope thing. Our boy finally caves, deciding to just shut up and eat, and Nova is hyped for the feast. They're both just going to town on this triceratops, making up for 20 years of shitty bird snacks. My man lets out a yawn, and you just know that food coma is about to hit him like a truck. Nova's already asking what's next, while Zeke looks like his social battery is completely drained. And there it is, our boy just passes out cold, completely shut down by a full stomach for the first time in decades. The kid's just poking Zeke's belly, probably making sure the old man didn't just die from happiness. Nova's trying to wake him up, not understanding that Zeke's body has entered a full system reboot. The kid just watches him sleep, probably realizing his new friend's battery life is absolute garbage. Nova's just staring at our boy, probably realizing his new dad's battery life is absolute trash. The kid decides to take a walk, leaving Zeke to his food coma next to the half-eaten buffet. Nova's enjoying the peace and quiet, completely forgetting he's on a goddamn death island. He's reminiscing about his dad, who apparently never let him wander off. Probably for a good reason, kid. The kid's finally doing the math, realizing that 20 years means Zeke's escape plan is non-existent. And there it is, the optimism is finally cracking as he starts wondering about his own dad. My man's starting to spiral, realizing his dad might not have island-finding superpowers. The kid's hope is officially draining, finally asking the question Zeke's been living with for 2 decades. And just like that, a giant-ass sky vulture shows up to ruin his day even more. Talk about bad timing. The noise wakes Zeke up, who probably has a built-in alarm for giant things that want to eat my kid. Zeke finally wakes up from his food coma, realizing the kid is gone and immediately starts panicking. Nova's screaming for the old man, and Zeke's eyes just pop open like he heard a dinner bell. My man's already thinking the worst, having a full-blown panic attack that he's too late to save the kid. He's up and running, screaming Nova's name like his life depends on it. Dad mode officially activated. Our boy is hauling ass through the jungle, all that depression forgotten now that his kid is in trouble. Zeke stops to catch his breath, looking absolutely terrified that he's lost the one good thing he's had in decades. But hold up, it's the giant sky vulture on the beach, and it's the one screaming for help. What the hell is going on? And there's Nova, hiding behind the bird's wing like it's his personal bodyguard. This kid is a tactical genius. Zeke's just processing this, while the narrator drops some fortune cookie wisdom about luck. We see Nova peeking out looking absolutely terrified of Zeke. Bro, you're hiding from the wrong dude. The giant sky vulture is just kneeling there, looking like it's about to ask for forgiveness. And Zeke's finally putting it together, realizing why Nova is so damn weird about certain things. My man's getting ready to say something, and you just know it's not going to be a friendly hello. The sky vulture is looking back, completely confused as to why it's getting the death stare. This supposed king of the skies is looking back at Zeke like he just saw a ghost. And Zeke just lets out a roar, reminding everyone that he's still a goddamn T-Rex. Our boy is charging, all that depression and misery replaced with pure, unadulterated dad rage. The giant bird is screaming and trying to backpedal, completely terrified of our washed-up old man. This dude is hauling ass to get airborne, realizing he just messed with the wrong kid's dad. Zeke goes for the kill, but completely whiffs it, face-planting as the bird makes its escape. Zeke is absolutely fuming that he whiffed the attack, letting out a pissed-off ch. He watches the bird get away, realizing he's about to lose his only ride off this rock. But my man gets right back up, roaring for Nova like he's not about to let this slide. The sky vulture looks back, completely shocked that this washed-up old man is still trying to fight. And our boy just launches himself off the damn cliff, latching onto the bird's wing with his teeth. The bird is screaming bloody murder, realizing it just got hijacked mid-flight by a lunatic. That is the face of a dad who has chosen extreme high-altitude violence to get his point across. My man is literally climbing this dude like a damn ladder, refusing to let go. The sky vulture is just trembling, completely paralyzed with fear as Zeke goes full psycho. And the bird lets out one last scream as our boy officially takes control of the flight. Zeke's bloody foot comes down hard, and you can just hear this bird's bones crunching. My man is literally standing on this dude's neck, having officially hijacked this flight mid-air. And we're getting another Nova trauma flashback, with him asking his dad what the hell they're gonna do. Nova's dad looks just as clueless, repeating the question like he didn't see this coming. Baby Nova is just looking up, waiting for his old man to come up with a plan. And the dad has a sudden galaxy brain moment like he just figured out the meaning of life. He looks down at his kid, announcing he's made a decision. This is gonna be good. The dad proposes a road trip, and Nova's already asking for the itinerary. And his dad's grand plan is to just walk to the ends of the earth. No wonder Nova's so weird. The flashback cuts to Nova drowning while his dad gives him a motivational speech about never giving up. Nova's dad is giving a motivational speech while literally drowning. Bro, maybe focus on swimming first. He finishes his TED talk by saying, hope is everything. This family's timing is just impeccable. And we're back to Nova, who's apparently been hiding inside the Triceratops corpse this whole time. The kid is just kicking around in there, having a full-blown panic attack inside a dead dinosaur. My man is trying to climb out of the carcass, looking like he just got reborn. What the hell, kid? Zeke is screaming for Nova, asking if he's awake. My man sounds like he just came down from a rage bender. Our boy is covered in blood, absolutely losing his mind trying to find the kid. Dad mode is still fully engaged. Nova finally wakes up inside the buffet, calling for his dad like he just got out of a weird-ass nap. The kid looks at the folded sky vulture, completely clueless about the aerial beatdown that just happened. We get the full crime scene, and Nova's just standing there while the dead bird proves Zeke chose violence. Zeke's explaining to Nova that he almost became bird food, and the kid is still trying to process the whole thing. My man's giving the play-by-play of his mid-air hijacking, reminding the kid he was seconds from being deleted. And the reality finally hits Nova, who's shaking like a leaf after realizing he almost got packed up. Zeke's already in detective mode, wondering why a mainland predator would fly all the way out to their rock. He puts two and two together, realizing the free Triceratops buffet was basically a dinner bell for bigger problems. My man confirms the dead body smell is basically an Uber Eats notification for every predator in a 100-mile radius. Zeke's bummed he has to eat the whole buffet fast, while Nova is already over his near-death experience. The kid is back to his hype man duties, calling Zeke the GOAT for saving his ass from the sky vulture. And Nova hits him with the "I wanna be like you," which is the exact same shit Zeke said before his life went to hell. Zeke's just staring, completely thrown by the kid asking that question and acting like he didn't almost just die. We get a random tree shot, because the island needs a moment to recover from that aerial beatdown. Zeke's telling the kid not to be a washed-up loser like him, and Nova's just hyped about leaving. Another moody water shot because it's time for a serious conversation about trauma. Nova's calling out the sudden serious talk, and Zeke just tells him to shut up and listen. The kid is just staring, completely baffled as to what could possibly be this important. And Zeke drops the bombshell that they might actually try to leave, and Nova is losing his mind. My man gets all serious, saying he needs to dig into Nova's trauma to find a way out. Nova's just giving him the head tilt, completely confused why his tragic backstory is suddenly relevant. Zeke lays it out. He needs the full story of how this kid ended up on his personal hell island. And Nova's just standing there, about to drop the most depressing how I spent my summer vacation story ever. Zeke's explaining that the storm that brought Nova wasn't just some regular rain, it was a whole event. He's recapping all the shit that washed up, including Nova, the buffet, and the folded bird. My man's got a plan. Figure out the storm's deal and maybe, just maybe, they can finally get home. Nova's ready to drop the lore, asking where the hell he should even begin his tragic backstory. Zeke goes full therapist mode, telling the kid to just start wherever he's comfortable. What a dad. And Nova decides to start from the very beginning, his first memory in the damn nest. We get a flashback to baby Nova hatching, looking all innocent before life beat him down. He's talking about his mom, but Zeke just has to interrupt the wholesome moment with a wait. Zeke's completely losing his shit, realizing this kid remembers coming out of the damn egg. Nova just roasts him for interrupting, and Zeke has to apologize for questioning the kid's galaxy brain. Nova starts his story with peaceful days, which is universal code for shit's about to get real dark. We get a flashback to him and his siblings just being little chaos gremlins, completely unaware of the plot. His mom is just chilling, letting the kids use her as a jungle gym. This is way too wholesome. And now we're watching a baby dino eat some raw, stringy meat. The circle of life is gross, man. Mama T-Rex is feeding the kids, and you just know this happy family moment is about to get wrecked. The whole family is sleeping together, with Mom curled around the nest. Okay, this is getting too cute. Nova's talking about how peaceful it was, and then hits us with the and then. The other shoe is about to drop. The kid just casually drops Mom died like he's talking about the weather. Damn, Nova. Zeke is losing his mind over the sudden tonal shift, and Nova just tells him to chill. Bro, it's his own trauma. And we're back to the flashback, with Mom looking bloody and shocked. The piece is officially over. The flashback shows his mom getting absolutely folded by a triceratops. Damn, that's a rough way to go. All the baby dinos are just hiding in the bushes, watching their mom get deleted from the server. And there she is, laid out on the ground. The happy family chapter is officially over. The kids are just staring at their dead mom, and the narrator hits us with, "This was just the start." Some random birds are already picking at the body. The disrespect is real. And then a sky vulture just snatches one of his siblings. The family is getting picked off one by one. The kid explains his other siblings got packed up by different predators. This is a horror movie. The last few kids are just huddled together, trying to survive without their mom. And just like that, Nova's the last one standing. Bro is officially an orphan. The kid's wandering alone, completely hopeless, and then he spots another T-Rex. This has to be his dad. Nova's wandering the jungle, his stomach rumbling. The orphan life is already hitting different. The kid stops dead in his tracks, hearing something that makes his little brain short-circuit, and a giant-ass T-Rex foot just lands right in front of him. Talk about a you-shall-not-pass moment. The big dude is just staring down at him, and Nova is officially frozen in place. Nova thinks he's found his dad, but the big guy just hits him with a, "Who the hell are you?" Awkward. Pops looks over and sees the skeleton of Nova's mom. The mood just got real heavy, real fast. The big guy confirms she's gone, walking away from the bones like he's just seen a ghost. My man is just staring into the void, probably having a whole flashback of his own. Nova's just watching this stranger have a silent mental breakdown over his mom's remains. The big dude finally snaps out of it and asks for the kid's name, and Nova's just happy to be noticed. The big guy just adopts Nova on the spot, basically saying, "You're my problem now, kid." Nova's just happy to have a dad again, and so begins his training arc with this absolute unit. The kid's gassing his Pops up, showing him roaring like he's the main character of this whole damn story. And we see Pops in action, absolutely folding a triceratops. That's gotta be for Mom. Nova just casually drops that his dad was way stronger than his mom. Damn, kid, that's cold. Some random turtle-looking dude is hiding in the bushes, scared shitless of the beatdown happening outside. Pops is now taking on an armored fatty, just working his way through the entire food chain. He just flips the armored dude like a damn pancake. This guy does not mess around. Some other random dino is just screaming moo, probably because its life is flashing before its eyes. Now he's taking on a whole herd of bigger dinos, and they're all running for their lives. Pops was a one-man army. Nova's just gassing his pops up, saying the man was undefeated and just built different. Some random little dude is watching from the bushes, getting a free lesson in how to get folded. Pops lets out a victory roar, and Nova's just thinking his new dad is the coolest dude on the planet. The kid's saying his dad taught him all the real shit his mom never got around to. Damn, that's cold. Pops gave him the full Pokédex entry on what to eat and what will eat you. Survival 101, baby. He's also teaching the kid how to hide, while dropping cryptic dad wisdom that goes right over his head. And here we go, Pops is hitting him with the "what is the meaning of life" talk. Baby Nova is just completely baffled, like he was expecting a lesson on biting things, not philosophy. The kid admits he has no damn clue, and his dad just laughs it off. What a power move. And so begins the TED Talk on feelings, explaining the origin of this kid's insane optimism. Pops is listing off all the shitty feelings in life while staring at a rock that looks suspiciously like Zeke's island. Then he hits him with the flip side, talking about all the good shit like joy and happiness. Nova's just a baby, completely lost, but he can tell his old man is being dead serious about this. Pops is just happy to be dropping life lessons, admitting he gets chatty on long walks. The kid's already calling him out, asking where the hell they're going since they passed their usual spot. Pops just tells him to chill, saying he's got a surprise for him. This is some serious dad energy. My man finally stops, announcing they've arrived at the secret location. The suspense is killing me. Nova looks up, completely clueless about what his dad has been hyping up this whole time. Pops is giving him the "wasn't it worth it?" look, like he just pulled off the greatest surprise party ever. And it's a whole ass field of flowers. Damn, after all that trauma, this is a nice change of pace. Nova's losing his little mind over the view, and Pops is just soaking it all in. A rare moment of peace. We get a close-up of the happy family, just enjoying the scenery before the plot inevitably kicks back in. And there's the but. You just know this wholesome field trip is about to end in absolute disaster. Nova brings it back to the present, reminding Zeke about the storm that started this whole damn mess. Back in the flashback, Pops looks like he just heard the boss music start playing. The vibe shift is real. And just like that, they're in the middle of a damn flood. The weather in this world has absolutely no chill. Pops is getting absolutely swallowed by the water, trying to keep his head up while the world ends. Baby Nova is just holding on for dear life, riding his dad like a damn jet ski through a hurricane. Even Pops is admitting he screwed up, realizing the river just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Pops is in full panic mode, asking his kid to be a lookout while they're literally drowning. Great plan, Dad. Nova's finally realizing things have gone wrong. Bro, you're in a flash flood, what was your first clue? Even Pops is sweating, realizing he's in way over his head while his kid is just along for the ride. The kid spots a tiny mound of logs, the only thing not currently being swallowed by the apocalypse. We get an aerial shot of their sad little log raft. Yeah, that's not gonna hold a whole-ass T-Rex. And there it is. Pops puts Nova on the log. This is starting to feel like a one-way trip for the kid. Nova's already asking questions, knowing damn well his dad isn't getting on that log with him. Pops just stands there in the water, and you just know a heroic sacrifice speech is about to drop. That's the face of a dad who knows he's not making it out of this episode. The man has accepted his fate. Pops starts the "listen carefully" speech, which is universal dad code for "I'm about to die." He's walking away into the flood, telling Nova he'll be fine. Bro is literally leaving his kid to die alone. Pops is giving his final pop quiz, asking the kid if he was even paying attention to his life lessons. Nova nails the final question, confirming that hope is the answer. This explains the kid's whole personality. The kid is crying, telling his dad not to be sad while he's literally drowning. This is heavy, man. Pops is dropping some fortune cookie wisdom about facing trials, trying to sound epic while getting washed away. He hits him with the classic, "We'll meet again" line as Nova floats off on his little log of sadness. The kid is just absorbing this final lesson on not giving up, getting his entire worldview from a drowning man. Pops is still screaming about reuniting, really hammering home the motivational speech as he gets dragged off. He gives Nova his final mission, survive and find him, before getting pulled under the water. Pops resurfaces for one last heroic smile, trying to play it cool while the ocean is actively deleting him. And there he goes, getting absolutely swallowed by the flood. Pops has officially left the server. Nova wraps up his story, saying when he woke up, his dad was just gone. The classic "went out for cigarettes" ending. We see him getting absolutely yeeted off his log raft into the stormy water. The kid struggles for a second before just accepting his fate and sinking. This family is way too chill about drowning. He lets out one last scream for his dad before the ocean officially claims him. And that's how he ended up on this island, just another piece of depressing driftwood. The kid finishes his trauma dump and asks Zeke for a review like he just told a bedtime story. Zeke is just lying there, completely unresponsive. My man's brain is trying to process a lifetime of trauma in 5 minutes. Nova gets right in his face, probably wondering if the old man's heart just gave out from the secondhand depression. Our boy finally opens his eyes, looking like he just aged another 20 years from that story alone. Nova just looks up at the moon, probably wondering if his dad is out there somewhere doing the same thing. Zeke finally says the kid's name, like he's just now realizing who he's dealing with. The narrator hits us with a motivational poster about hope, which is the whole point of this kid's existence. Hold up, we're in a flashback with a young Zeke asking about hope. This is some circle of life shit. And some bigger T-Rex is giving him the exact same never give up speech Nova's dad did. Young Zeke is just eating it up, asking for the punchline like an eager little student. The lesson is simple. The moment you give up hope, you've already lost. Damn, that hits different for our boy. And young Zeke is all hyped up, agreeing in front of the same damn skull rock from his island prison. The irony is thick. We cut back to the present, with the skull rock just chilling, having witnessed 2 generations of T-Rex trauma. Our boy is actually sleeping with a smile, probably for the first time in 20 years. Zeke's curled around Nova, protecting him. This kid really just rebooted a man's entire will to live. The story gives us a quick recap of Nova's trauma dump, just in case we weren't paying attention. Zeke's now fully briefed on the kid's tragic backstory and his dad's final, very wet motivational speech. The mission is set, find a clue and get the hell off this rock. The hype is officially building. And the plot immediately says, nope, showing Zeke passed out cold on the ground instead of escaping. Nova's just watching Zeke gasp for air, looking like he's about to become a permanent resident. We get a time skip to 29 days later, and our boy is officially on the brink of death. So much for hope. The story rewinds 20 days, showing the Triceratops buffet is now just a sad pile of bones. Nova's already roasting Zeke for eating the whole buffet too fast, calling him old man again. Zeke explains he'd rather eat fast than have the smell attract more of those sky vulture assholes. But the kid's just happy to have a bodyguard, completely trusting Zeke to keep him from getting packed up. The narrator reminds us that after the buffet, it's back to the daily grind of not starving to death. And it's not just about food anymore. They've got a whole-ass escape plan to figure out now. Zeke's actually using his brain, trying to come up with a plan that isn't lie down and wait to die. My man's in full detective mode, grilling Nova for the details of his traumatic, waterlogged journey. Nova's just repeating the question because he was a little busy trying not to drown to check his watch. Zeke lays out the plan. Figure out the travel time to calculate how screwed they really are. The kid's trying to remember the details of his near-death experience like he's recalling a vacation. And we're back in the trauma log, with Nova getting absolutely yeeted by the flood. The little dude is just climbing back onto his log, refusing to get deleted from the server that easily. And then he just passes out cold, because surviving the apocalypse is exhausting for a toddler. Nova's trying to do the math on his trauma cruise, guessing he was floating for about a day. The kid immediately changes his answer, saying it didn't feel that long. Bro, you were unconscious. Zeke confirms the timeline, and Nova's just happily agreeing like they're planning a vacation. Our boy's doing some quick calculations, realizing the whole trip probably only took 1 night. The story confirms Zeke's theory. The storm ended, and Nova just got delivered via Ocean Express. My man's looking out at the water, and you can see the gears turning in his head. Zeke drops the bombshell that the mainland might actually be within reach. Hope is officially back on the menu. But he's already hitting the brakes, admitting the real problem is how the hell they're gonna cross the ocean. Zeke tables the escape plan to focus on food, and Nova is, as always, ready to grub. And the kid just goes absolutely feral, snatching a pterosaur out of the air like a damn ninja. The narrator's giving us the daily schedule, and Zeke's just passed out from all the thinking and eating. At night, they're doing some stargazing, but it's actually a full-on navigation lesson from the old man. Zeke's teaching Nova how to find the North Star, and the kid is actually picking it up pretty fast. The kid questions the lesson, and Zeke hits him with some classic, trust me, you'll need this dad wisdom. 20 days later, Zeke's using shells to draw a map on the beach, prepping for their big escape. Nova's confirming the plan, using Zeke's little shell map to visualize their one-night trip home. The kid thinks they can just swim for it, completely underestimating the ocean's ability to ruin plans. Zeke hits him with the hard truth. The ocean currents are basically a one-way ticket to this hellhole. And the reality of the situation finally hits Nova, The ocean is officially their biggest hater. Just as they hit a wall with the escape plan, Nova's stomach starts screaming, "Priorities, my dude." The narrator reminds us they're about to starve, and Nova's already checking on Zeke like a worried parent. The kid calls him out for not eating in days, and Zeke just brushes it off like it's a minor inconvenience. Zeke admits that starving for days was just his regular schedule before Nova showed up, but the kid is not convinced. Our boy throws Nova's own motivational bullshit back in his face, saying his luck is bound to turn around. Nova is looking genuinely worried, realizing his new dad's optimism is running on an empty stomach. The kid tries to be a good son and hunt for Zeke, then realizes a bird is basically a breath mint for him. Zeke just walks off, announcing he's going on a food run, leaving Nova to wonder what the hell his plan is. And he's back to his signature hunting technique, lying down and waiting for a miracle. Nova is not impressed. But hold up, Nova just went and packed up a pterosaur all by himself. This kid is a damn prodigy. The kid proudly presents his kill, and Zeke has to play it cool like he wasn't just about to starve to death. And there's the aftermath of Nova's hunt, one very dead, very folded bird. Zeke's trying to play the tough dad, telling Nova to eat, but the kid's calling him out for starving. Nova just refuses to eat, saying he's holding out for a big catch. This kid is trying to parent a T-Rex. Our boy's in his head, trying to cope by telling himself he's used to this miserable, starving lifestyle. My man's admitting he was ready to just die alone, but then Nova showed up and messed up his whole vibe. He's actually feeling hope again, saying things have to get better now. This kid really fixed him, and the story hits us with a 12th day of starvation. So much for things getting better, my dude. Zeke's looking absolutely wrecked. The life is just draining out of his eyes from the hunger. Our boy is just stumbling through the jungle, looking like he's about to collapse any second. He's so out of it, he's just staring at Wilson, completely losing track of time. This is not looking good. Zeke's so weak he's losing track of how many days he's been starving. This is not a good look. My man's already sucked the marrow out of the bones. The buffet is officially closed for business. And his usual pterosaur Uber Eats has completely ghosted him. The island is really trying to delete him now. He's admitting this is the worst it's ever been, wondering how much longer he can even last. But our boy just stops, refusing to let himself spiral. He's got a kid to look after now. He's at his absolute physical limit, just questioning how much more his body can possibly take. My man is literally counting down the days until he dies. The hope is officially running on fumes. He's fading in and out of consciousness, just barely holding on by a thread. And now Nova is passed out cold on the ground. The kid's optimism couldn't beat starvation. Zeke just stands over the kid, completely horrified that he's about to watch his new son die. Zeke's so delirious from hunger, he's trying to have a conversation with the passed-out kid. My man's hallucinating, asking the unconscious Nova to go on a damn food run for him. And he snaps back to reality, realizing he's talking to a kid who's already checked out. Now he's having a full-blown conversation with Wilson, admitting a bird snack won't cut it. Zeke's about to do something drastic, and Nova wakes up just in time to see the old man lose his mind. And there it is. The hunger has officially made him go full-on Joker mode. That is the eye of a man whose sanity has officially left the building. He's just looming over the kid, panting like a psycho. This just got real dark real fast. My man's having a full system crash, twitching and fighting his own damn brain. He just hits Nova with a hard eat it, and you just know this is not going to be good. His inner demon is screaming at him to just eat the kid already and stop being a little bitch about it. The hunger is trying to justify it, asking if his morals are really worth dying for right now. And Wilson's back, asking if this random brat is really more important than his own survival. My man is literally about to take a bite, his jaw trembling right over the kid's neck. That's the eye of a man who has completely lost the fight against his own damn instincts. And there's the blood splatter. Holy shit, he actually did it. But Nova just wakes up, completely unharmed and looking confused as hell. Zeke's turned away, shaking like a leaf. My man is fighting for his goddamn life in his own head. He bit his own damn mouth to stop himself, now trying to act tough like he wasn't just about to eat his son. Our boy screams that he'll never give in, officially choosing dad mode over survival mode. My man's trying to sound heroic while bleeding from the mouth, and Nova is just screaming his name. That's the eye of a dude who is one bad thought away from a full system meltdown. Nova's yelling at him from a distance, probably because Zeke just collapsed after almost eating him. The kid is sweating, realizing his new dad's sanity is held together with duct tape and wishful thinking. Zeke tells the kid to stay back, and Nova's asking about his tail. Oh no, I see where this is going. Our boys decided that self-cannibalism is the only way to stop himself from eating the kid. That's some next-level dad shit. He's trying to be quick about it, like ripping off a Band-Aid, except the Band-Aid is his own damn tail. Nova is just watching this horror show, completely traumatized by his dad's new diet plan. Zeke's trying to hype himself up to just rip it off because apparently that's less painful than starving. My man's struggling to bite his own tail off, questioning his life choices mid-chew. This is dark, bro. Zeke's trying to rationalize eating his own tail, saying it's just a temporary fix until he can hunt again. My man is already hallucinating about his next meal, picturing some sea lizard he's gonna catch. He's still trying to go through with it, and Nova is just screaming for him to stop the self-mutilation. And right on cue, the kid has a last-minute galaxy brain idea to save the day. Zeke's just looking up, too busy bleeding from the mouth to process the kid's sudden plan. We get a nice, friendly shot of all the blood our boy is currently losing from his face. My man is so far gone, he thinks the kid is just making shit up to stop him from eating himself. Even Wilson is calling bullshit, but Nova swears on his life that he's not lying. Zeke's just staring, his brain too starved to process anything beyond eat my own ass. The kid's just standing there looking like he's about to pull a damn miracle out of nowhere. The kid swears he's not just trying to stop the self-mutilation, he's got a real plan to get Zeke a meal. Zeke's just looking at him, too delirious to process anything but the taste of his own blood. Nova clarifies he knows how to find food on this godforsaken rock, and Zeke finally looks up. Our boy just gulps, probably wondering if the kid's plan involves more violence or just more disappointment. Zeke's so out of it, he's asking Wilson if the kid is for real. Bro, your skull friend can't help you now. Nova's getting sassy, saying even a kid can see how pathetic Zeke's current situation is. The kid just walks off, wondering what the hell the old man is even doing with his life just lying there. Nova looks back at Zeke's starving ass, counting the days he's been pulling this play-dead routine. The kid's genuinely worried, thinking that even a tiny snack would be better than this slow-motion suicide. Nova's trying to figure out why Zeke's acting so tough, guessing he's just embarrassed about being a shitty hunter. Nova's trying to be optimistic about tomorrow, but the narrator just hits him with a hard nope. The story just fast-forwards through several more days of them absolutely failing to find food. And Zeke is officially hitting rock bottom, looking like he's about to check out permanently. Nova is watching Zeke just stand in the ocean like a sad statue, wondering if the old man has finally given up. The kid's realizing the pterosaur delivery service has officially shut down, and Zeke is running on empty. Zeke's so far gone, he's now threatening to beat up his imaginary friend, Wilson. My man is giving himself a pep talk by screaming at a skull that he's never gonna die. The sanity is gone. Nova's just watching the old man have a full-blown conversation with a skull. The kid is concerned. The kid's remembering his dad's wisdom about starvation-induced hallucinations, realizing Zeke is officially tripping balls. Nova's now in full panic mode, trying to figure out how to save his new dad from his own crazy ass. The kid's pulling out the big guns, asking himself what his dead motivational speaker dad would do. 2 days later, Nova pops out of the water yawning. Looks like his little plan actually worked. My man's in a full-on food coma, wondering where the old man wandered off to this time. We rewind to the kid having a galaxy brain moment about how to solve their little starvation problem. He's remembering Zeke housing the entire Triceratops buffet like it was his last meal on Earth. The kid's just sitting there connecting the dots while Zeke was busy having a mental breakdown. He recalls Zeke's excuse for eating fast was to keep the smell from attracting more sky vultures. And there it is, the light bulb goes off. This kid is about to out-hunt the old man again. His big plan, if blood attracts land predators, why not use it as bait for some sea monsters? Back in the present, Zeke's watching the kid next to a blood trail leading into the ocean. My man used Zeke's face blood as chum. Savage. Zeke's so out of it, he's just repeating the kid's plan, wondering if using his own blood as bait is a good idea. The blood from his self-inflicted face wound is now officially fish food. This is some next-level desperation. The blood trail is in the water, and now they just have to wait for something to take the bait. Our boy is just standing in the ocean, looking like a sad, wet statue while waiting for dinner to arrive. That is the face of a man who has officially given up and is just waiting for the universe to make a decision. Nova's on the beach, already getting impatient. The kid's got the attention span of a goldfish. The kid admits he's never tried this before and is now worried his big plan is a total bust. Great time to mention that, my guy. Zeke's still just marinating in the ocean, probably wondering if drowning is a better option at this point. My man's thinking it's way too quiet, realizing this ocean might be as dead as his hopes and dreams. And he has a moment of clarity, realizing this is the same crushing silence he's been living in for 20 years. Zeke's so out of it he barely reacts, but his predator senses just picked up a signal. Nova's on the shore, already second-guessing his own plan and worrying about the old man. The kid's officially panicking, wondering if Zeke is about to just check out for good. And just like that, a giant-ass shadow appears in the water. The bait actually worked. A whole-ass sea monster pops up for a snack, completely unaware it's about to become the main course. Zeke goes from 0 to 100, lunging at the sea lizard with the last of his strength. Nova is losing his mind on the beach, completely shocked that his insane plan actually paid off. Our boy's got the sea monster in a death grip, refusing to let go of this walking buffet. My man is just absolutely folding this thing, dragging it onto the beach like a goddamn champion. And that's the sound of dinner being served, as the sea lizard officially clocks out. Zeke is just mauling this sea lizard, dragging it out of the water like a damn savage. My man's thinking they finally have a reliable food source and won't have to starve anymore. Nova's on the shore, acting as the hype man and screaming that the old man pulled it off. Zeke can't believe the kid's insane blood bait plan actually worked. The relief is real. He's already calculating the calories, realizing this is a way bigger score than their usual bird snacks. But hold up, the sea lizard is still kicking, trying to make a break for it. This ain't over yet. Zeke immediately starts screaming for Nova to get back, realizing the danger isn't gone. The kid is just standing there completely confused. His victory party just got shut down hard. Nova's asking what the hell is going on, completely unaware of the new problem. And a much, much bigger sea monster pops its head up. Turns out their dinner was someone else's appetizer. The big sea monster just yoinks their dinner right out of Zeke's mouth. The disrespect is off the charts. Zeke is absolutely losing his mind, screaming for Nova because his dad danger senses are going crazy. Our boy is hauling ass through the water, all that starvation forgotten now that his kid is on the menu. Nova's on the beach, screaming for his life as this giant sea lizard comes to collect its appetizer. And the monster just pins Nova to the ground with its foot. The kid is officially getting folded. The sea lizard just looks down, probably surprised that its food is screaming so much. Nova is struggling under the foot, trying to squirm his way out of becoming a permanent stain on the beach. The monster is just pressing down, about to turn the kid into a goddamn pancake. The sea lizard looks away for a second, and Nova is still pinned, probably rethinking his whole blood bait plan. The kid somehow escapes and is booking it, while the monster's eye shows it's pissed he got away. And the sea monster is just slithering on land like it's taking a damn stroll through the park. Nova is losing his mind, screaming about what the hell this thing even is. It's dinner, kid, and you're the main course. The monster is hauling ass across the sand, and this kid is about to learn about the food chain the hard way. Nova's asking how it's moving on land while it's literally about to swallow him whole. Bro, run now, ask questions later. And Zeke comes in with the clutch save, slamming his foot down like a goddamn meteor. Dad is officially back online. The shockwave sends Nova flying, and the kid just got a free lesson in what happens when titans clash. Nova's just rolling on the ground, completely dazed after getting yeeted by his own dad's dramatic entrance. The sea monster is screaming its head off, absolutely pissed that its easy meal just got intercepted, and it goes right back to trying to eat Nova, who's still down for the count. This thing is relentless. The monster spits out its first catch to focus on the main course, while Nova is scaling a cliff to get the hell out of there. The sea monster just spits out their original dinner, deciding the kid is a way better appetizer. Zeke's not even looking at the food anymore. His only priority is the giant asshole trying to eat his son. And the monster just dips back into the ocean, leaving Zeke to process that they just lost 2 meals in one day. My man immediately goes back into dad mode, screaming to make sure the kid didn't get folded in the chaos. The kid's still trying to reboot after getting yeeted, calling out to the old man like he just woke up from a nap. Zeke's doing a full diagnostic check, but the kid just brushes it off like he didn't almost become a beachside snack. Nova's finally catching his breath, the adrenaline from his near-death experience officially wearing off. The monster is officially gone, and Nova admits that was the most terrifying 20 seconds of his entire life. But hold up, the monster left behind the appetizer. Dinner might be back on the menu after all, and Zeke is not wasting any time, absolutely housing the consolation prize before anything else can steal it. Nova's just staring at their hard-earned meal, probably wondering if every dinner on this island comes with a side of near-death experience. Both of them are finally eating, with Zeke admitting the sea lizard is actually pretty good. My man was seconds away from eating his own ass. The kid immediately brings up the self-mutilation attempt, asking if Zeke's tail is okay. Bro, read the room. Zeke just plays it off like it was nothing, saying he's already healed. My man's trying to act like he didn't just have a full mental breakdown. Nova is completely baffled, unable to process how Zeke just shrugged off trying to eat his own tail. The kid calls him out, reminding him he went full psycho on his own body. He's not letting that shit slide. Nova finally realizes his new dad is just built different, while Zeke continues to house the sea lizard. Zeke hits him with the "I'm bigger than you" argument, while Nova gets smacked in the face with a wing. My man starts a whole biology lesson on durability, and Nova's just trying to keep up with the sudden lecture. Zeke just doubles down, explaining that being a big-ass T-Rex comes with a built-in healing factor. Zeke's giving a whole lecture on Triceratops stats, like he didn't just have a full-on mental breakdown 5 minutes ago. He's explaining that big dudes can heal from anything, basically justifying why he's not dead after trying to eat himself. My man's bringing up the sea lizard he yeeted, about to turn this near-death experience into a teachable moment. He's using their current meal as a visual aid for his how not to get folded TED Talk. Nova's just looking up, completely zoned in on the old man's post-psychosis hunting lesson. Zeke drops the "we didn't confirm the kill" line, which is universal code for "that asshole is definitely coming back." And speak of the damn devil, the big sea monster is just lurking offshore, waiting for round 2. Zeke's dropping hunting 101 wisdom about finishing the job, and Nova is just eating it up. The kid has a sudden flashback, realizing this is why he survived getting swallowed before. This kid's life is a horror movie, and we get a shot of baby Nova literally chilling inside some other creature's stomach. What the actual hell, kid? Nova's asking if those sea monsters are supposed to be land-based now, trying to update his mental Pokedex. The kid's still shaken, admitting that whole ordeal almost gave him a damn heart attack. Zeke admits this is the first time he's ever seen one of those things walk on land. Even the old man is learning new shit. My man says he's only ever seen them washed up dead, which means that big one was a whole new level of problem. Nova's realizing the old man doesn't have all the answers, and the kid looks like he's having another galaxy brain moment. Zeke's just focused on the meal, absolutely housing the sea lizard like he hasn't eaten in weeks. Oh, wait, he hasn't. My man finishes his bite, looking like he's finally processing that the kid's insane plan actually worked. And he actually thanks Nova, who's just puffing his chest out, proud as hell to get some props from the old man. Zeke's admitting the kid just solved their food problem for good, no more waiting for bird Uber Eats. My man's genuinely baffled, asking how the hell Nova came up with a plan he couldn't think of in 20 years. Nova's being all humble, hitting Zeke with a little, "heh," like he didn't just save them from starvation. The kid's trying to downplay his galaxy brain move, saying it was just observation and creativity, and giving Zeke half the credit. Zeke's just repeating those words, his brain probably rebooting after 20 years of just trying not to die. Nova's not done dropping knowledge, hitting him with an "oh, right," like he just remembered another genius idea. Zeke's just looking at him, probably wondering when this kid became the damn strategist of this operation. The kid suggests leaving leftovers as bait for next time. My man is already planning their next 5 meals. Zeke just agrees, realizing this kid is playing 4D chess while he was busy trying to eat his own ass. The narrator confirms that despite the absolute chaos, they've officially leveled up their survival game. And we see them passed out, with the narrator confirming they survived another day on this godforsaken rock. The story's telling us they're learning new shit and getting stronger. This is officially the start of their comeback tour. The narrator's talking about nature while some new armored dude is splashing around. This feels like a whole new problem. This armored fatty is struggling to swim, looking like he's about to get deleted from the server. Okay, there's 2 of them, and they're booking it from something. The ocean is not their friend right now. My man is gasping for air, having the worst swimming lesson of his entire life. And there's the reason they're panicking. A giant-ass shadow is right on their tail. Nature is not playing around. The story's calling this a new trial as the big sea psycho from before shows up to ruin someone else's day. One of the armored dudes is having a full-blown panic attack, realizing they're swimming straight into the void. His brother just hits him with the swim or die speech. No time for feelings when you're on the menu. The plan is to just keep swimming until they hit land, but the sea monster's about to end this road trip early. And there it is, the sea monster just snatches one of the brothers. Well, that's one way to end an argument. The other armored fatty is losing his mind, realizing his brother just got deleted from the server. And there's the kill cam, the sea monster just absolutely housing the poor bastard. The monster just dips with its snack, leaving the other dude to contemplate his life choices in the dark. My man's having a full-blown existential crisis, wondering how his day went from salad bar to horror movie. We get a close-up of the sea psycho just parading its kill around like a damn trophy. He's explaining they were just vibing and eating seaweed when this asshole decided to choose violence. The flashback shows the sea monster absolutely folding some random squid thing. This dude's a menace. Now the survivor's just floating in the middle of nowhere, completely screwed and just hating his life. He's begging for any piece of land while the sea psycho is still lurking in the background. And he spots an island in the distance, praying to the dino gods that it's not a damn mirage. Zeke's sleeping, but you can tell he's about to get a rude awakening from the new arrival. And the armored fatty officially makes landfall, washing up on their private hell island. The new guy is already passed out in the bushes, trying to recover from his traumatic swimming lesson. My man wakes up looking pissed, probably because his brother's now sea monster Chow. And Zeke's internal alarm clock goes off, realizing there's a new freeloader on his rock. We jump to day 45, and Zeke's just passed out while the new armored dude is lurking in the background. The narrator confirms they're in a cold war, just staring at each other from a distance. The new guy is just taking a stroll on their beach like he owns the damn place. We rewind to day 40, and their sea lizard leftovers are now just sad bones at the bottom of the ocean. And a random shark shows up to the bone party because this ocean is just full of assholes. Zeke's out here snatching sharks from the ocean, finally solving a food problem that stumped him for 20 years. My man's dragging dinner home, and the narrator hits us with the up until then, so you know the good vibes are about to end. Nova's just housing the shark head, finally getting to eat without a side of near-death experience. And Zeke lets out a burp of pure, unadulterated satisfaction. My man hasn't been this full in 2 decades. They're chilling with Wilson, but even with full stomachs, the narrator reminds us they're still stuck in this hellhole. The kid's finally calling Zeke out, asking why he's so damn negative about their escape plan. Zeke's looking annoyed as hell, reminding the kid for the 10th time that the ocean is their biggest hater. My man explains the current is basically a giant return-to-sender stamp, and he's sweating just thinking about it. Nova is officially losing his patience, screaming that they've made zero progress because of Zeke's excuses. Zeke's just watching the kid's tantrum, thinking he's just an impatient brat. Bro, you were about to eat your own tail last week. Nova's dropping his galaxy brain plan. Just swim faster than the ocean. My man thinks it's that simple. The kid's looking smug as hell, but you just know Zeke is about to drop a hard butt on his whole career. Zeke hits him with the biology lesson, reminding him they're built for folding things on land, not swimming. My man's laying it out for him, basically saying they've got zero chance against the ocean's bullshit. Nova's getting pissed as Zeke casually mentions he already tried this a decade ago. Way to bury the lead, old man. The kid is absolutely losing it, screaming that Zeke conveniently forgot to mention his past escape attempts. Zeke's trying to gaslight him, acting like he totally mentioned it before. My man's memory is selective as hell. Nova is going off, completely fed up with Zeke's "it's impossible" attitude after he just saved them from starvation. Zeke's just sweating, completely speechless after getting called out by a kid half his size. The kid keeps laying into him, and Zeke is officially getting pissed. Nova is not letting this go. Zeke's calling the kid a whiny brat, completely dismissing his whole argument. My man's going full boomer, yelling at Nova for changing his mind about their hell island. Zeke's still screaming, and Nova's just sweating, realizing the old man's negativity is a brick wall. He's getting in the kid's face, pulling the "do you even know how I feel" card. Classic guilt trip. Zeke's now listing his credentials, reminding Nova he's the one who's actually struggled to survive here. The old man hits him with the "you're nothing without me," and Nova is officially done with this conversation. Zeke is completely stunned that the kid is actually talking back to him. The audacity. And Nova just hits him with the "you-know" reverse card, reminding Zeke he'd be dead without his blood bait plan. Zeke claps back, reminding the kid he can't even handle a damn sea lizard on his own. Low blow, man. The kid just gives him the silent treatment and walks off, completely done with Zeke's bullshit. And the kid hits him with the "I hate you," officially kicking off the family drama arc. 5 days later, Nova's still giving him the silent treatment. This kid can hold a grudge, damn. Zeke's trying to apologize with a shark steak, but Nova's not even looking at him. The disrespect is real. My man's having a full-on crisis, saying this kid's tantrum sent him back 20 years in emotional damage. Nova's just standing there, probably wondering if the old man is going to start trying to eat his own tail again. Zeke's calling the kid immature, which is rich coming from the guy who just had a meltdown over being called out. The new armored dude is watching this whole soap opera, probably debating if he should just try to swim for it. Zeke's back to his old bullshit, whining about how dangerous the ocean is. We get it, you're scared. Even while he's pissed, Nova's still dreaming about escaping. The kid's optimism is a damn superpower. And the armored fatty has just passed out. Looks like everyone decided to just sleep on their problems. The pterosaur alarm clock is going off, signaling the start of another miserable day on Hell Island. Nova's already over the beef, worrying about the old man getting folded while he's out sulking. The kid's having a whole flashback to his real dad, wondering if he's still out there looking for him. And just like that, he's over it, deciding there's no point in thinking about what ifs. This kid's emotional whiplash is insane. Nova's back on Zeke's back, officially sick of this island and ready to move on from their little spat. He finally admits he's pretty useless without the old man. Took him long enough to swallow his pride. The kid decides to just sleep it off because that's the only thing to do when you're stuck in paradise. The sky vultures are taking off and you just know this is the transition to the next scene. Zeke's actually smiling in his sleep, probably dreaming about not having to eat his own tail for once. And there they are. Nova's curled up on Zeke's back. The family drama arc lasted a whole 5 minutes. The new armored fatty is finally getting his ass up after washing ashore. My man is absolutely gassed, just trying to process the fact that he's still alive. He's huffing and puffing, looking like he just had the worst day of his entire life. The armored dude collapses again, but not before spotting Zeke passed out in the distance. Zeke's just sleeping peacefully, completely unaware he's got a new freeloader on his island. Our boy is having a nightmare, his eye twitching like he's reliving some serious trauma. And we're back in the trauma log, with Nova dreaming about his dad getting absolutely folded by the flood. The kid's having a full-on nightmare, begging his drowning dad not to leave him. Damn, this is heavy. He's screaming in his sleep, telling his dad not to leave him behind. The kid's got some serious abandonment issues, and Zeke wakes up with a jolt, probably because the kid's nightmare just became his new alarm clock. Zeke jolts awake, realizing the kid's nightmare just gave him one too. His first thought is pure panic, immediately looking for Nova. Dad instincts are still on point. He hears a scream and jumps, probably thinking the kid's getting folded again. And it's a full-on scream-off between Nova and the new armored fatty. What a welcome party. The new guy is just looming over Nova, who's standing his ground. This kid has zero fear. Zeke's running in, completely baffled by the new freeloader on his private Hell Island. The armored dude looks just as confused, probably wondering how he ended up in a T-Rex daycare. Nova's already calling the new guy an armored fatty and asking Zeke for an explanation. Zeke's still trying to process how this dude even got here, running through the possibilities. The kid's already asking Zeke to handle the situation, while the new guy just waddles off. Zeke and Nova are squaring up with the new guy, who looks like he's about to have a heart attack. Nova's already wagging his tail like he's made a new friend, while Zeke is just trying to process the situation. Zeke decides to just play it cool for now, but you can see the stress in his eyes. The armored fatty is still trying to catch his breath, looking like he just ran a marathon from hell. We get a close-up of his armor plating. This dude is built like a damn walking bunker. The new guy's eye is just screaming, "I've seen some shit," and he's not wrong after that sea monster incident. Nova's just looking on, probably wondering if this new dude is a friend or just another potential meal. Zeke tells the kid to just watch from a distance. The Cold War on Hell Island has officially begun. Zeke's still telling Nova to chill, but then something in the water catches his eye. The narrator officially introduces the new freeloader on day 46. This island is getting way too crowded. Nova's just lying there, completely judging Zeke's decision to not immediately throw hands with the new guy. The kid is losing his mind, asking Zeke why the hell they're not just folding this new freeloader on site. Zeke's trying to be the responsible adult, telling the kid they don't just attack people for no reason. My man's explaining this new dude isn't some easy snack. He's a whole different weight class than their usual meals. Zeke's breaking down the stats on this walking tank, admitting the dude is basically a living fortress. Zeke's admitting this guy is on high alert, and he has no damn clue how to even crack that shell. Our boy officially calls for a ceasefire, deciding to just watch and not start shit with their new neighbor. Zeke's betting the new guy is too scared to make the first move, so they're just gonna have a staring contest for now. Nova is clearly not impressed with Zeke's "let's just vibe" strategy, and is judging him hard for it. The kid's already roasting Zeke in his head, calling him a coward for not immediately starting a turf war. Nova's still roasting Zeke in his head, calling him out for being a lazy old man who won't do shit. Zeke's just watching the kid, fully aware that he's getting judged hard for his "let's just vibe" strategy. My man's already running the numbers on fighting the new guy and deciding it's not worth the risk. Zeke's trying to justify his inaction, saying it's normal for the new guy to be on edge. Yeah, because you're a T-Rex, my dude. The old man's just watching Nova sulk, realizing this family drama is far from over. The armored fatty is having a full-blown crisis, realizing he's stuck on an island with no escape plan and a new roommate. Zeke's just lying there, completely overwhelmed and wondering what the hell he's supposed to do now. The narrator hits us with a fish tank analogy, basically saying this island is a pressure cooker of bad vibes, and the armored fatty immediately trips over a root because his day just wasn't going bad enough already. Nova's just staring at a muddy puddle, completely disgusted. Bro, you live on a deserted island, what did you expect? The armored fatty is passed out, looking like he's having the worst nap of his entire life. My man jolts awake, completely bugging out because he thought he heard something. It's just Zeke walking by with a pterosaur snack, completely unbothered by the new guy's paranoia. The armored dude is steaming, realizing Zeke wasn't coming to kill him, just getting some takeout. He's still huffing and puffing, completely on edge. This dude's got some serious trust issues. Zeke's looking awkward as hell, realizing the new guy thought he was about to become the main course. The narrator confirms the vibes are off, and Nova's just pissed they have a new freeloader cramping their style. And the story's teasing that this awkward roommate situation is about to get a hard reset. We hit day 50 and the island's weather has officially decided to choose violence. Zeke's just standing in the downpour, casually mentioning the storm like it's a minor inconvenience. Zeke's already complaining that the storm is going to ruin his fishing trip and send him back to starvation mode. But my man's not too worried since he absolutely housed that last meal. Smart move, old man. He's already doing a head count, wondering where the new armored fatty is hiding from the rain. And there's the new guy, curled up and looking absolutely miserable. This dude's vacation is not going well. The ocean is officially choosing violence again, just in case anyone forgot what hell island they're on. Zeke's dad instincts finally kick in, realizing he hasn't seen Nova all day while the storm is getting worse. And the armored fatty just got absolutely yeeted by a giant wave. The ocean does not discriminate. My man is having a full-blown panic attack, probably getting flashbacks to his brother getting deleted. The armored dude is now an airborne projectile, and Nova is standing right in the damn landing zone. Zeke just walks in on this chaos, completely baffled as to why the new guy is suddenly freaking out. The armored fatty is just tumbling down a cliff, screaming his head off. This dude's day just keeps getting worse. And the rain is just coming down in sheets because this island's weather has zero chill. Zeke's officially in dad panic mode, realizing the new guy is bugging out and Nova is nowhere to be found. The armored dude is on the ground, looking like he's about to have a heart attack from the stress. Zeke finally puts it together that the new guy isn't just wilding out, he's genuinely terrified of something. Our boy looks up, finally connecting the dots on why the new guy is having a full-blown meltdown. And there it is, a whole-ass tsunami is about to reset the island. The ocean chose violence again. Zeke's face says it all. He just realized they're all about to get absolutely washed. The wave is just an absolute monster, about to delete everything in its path. And we're hitting the rewind button to an hour ago because of course we need the tragic backstory. We're back to an hour ago with Nova sulking in the rain with his bird snack. The kid's still pissed at Zeke, deciding to just let the old man sleep off his bad attitude. Nova's feeling the awkward vibes and decides to just find his own spot to wait out the storm. The kid finds a big-ass tree to hide under because that's always a great idea in a storm. My man finds a comfy leaf pile and decides a nap is the best way to deal with his problems. The kid is officially out for the count, completely unaware of the chaos about to unfold. And that's the last peaceful moment this kid is going to have for a hot minute. Nova's just chilling in his hideout, completely oblivious that the weather is about to choose extreme violence. The kid is dead asleep, which is a terrible idea when you live on an island that actively tries to kill you. And the ocean starts bubbling, which is universal code for shit is about to hit the fan. And Nova's back to his old routine, getting absolutely yeeted by the ocean like it's his damn origin story again. The kid wakes up underwater, having a full-blown oh shit not again moment. We flash back to Zeke, who was sleeping through the apocalypse's opening act like a damn log. The armored fatty is getting washed, screaming his head off as his ocean-related PTSD gets a hard reboot. The storm is just going absolutely nuts because this island's weather has only one setting. Fuck you. And Zeke finally wakes up, realizing he just got a free, unsolicited swimming lesson from a whole-ass tidal wave. My man's having a full-blown panic attack, wondering if the entire island just got deleted from the server. He finally realizes he's been dragged out to sea, getting the full Nova Express experience against his will. And his first thought isn't survival, it's a full-on dad panic, screaming for Nova in the middle of the storm. Zeke's just getting tossed around by the waves, completely powerless against the ocean he's been beefing with for 20 years. Zeke's underwater, having a full-blown panic attack as he gets a taste of Nova's trauma cruise. My man's realizing the ocean he's been beefing with is about to give him a one-way ticket to the void. The ocean is just a whole mood of fuck you in particular right now. Zeke's trying to fight the current he's been whining about for 20 years. Good luck with that, my dude. And the ocean just dunks him again because of course it does. He pops back up for air, still getting absolutely violated by the waves. The whole damn forest is in the water with him. This tsunami really did a number on the island. Our boy finally finds a log to cling to, taking a break from his unscheduled swimming lesson. And there's Nova, waking up in a pile of leaves like he just got back from a bender. The kid jolts awake, probably wondering how he ended up back on the Ocean Express. Nova's having a full-blown panic attack as the water level goes from 0 to 100 real quick. The kid's trying to book it to the trees thinking they'll save him from a whole-ass tsunami. Cute. And the ocean just says nope and swallows him whole. This is becoming a habit for him. My man is officially drowning, getting a hard reboot of his traumatic origin story. Meanwhile, Zeke is also getting absolutely folded by the ocean he's been beefing with for 20 years. He's trying to give himself a pep talk, finally putting his money where his mouth is against the current. My man knows if he gets swept out, it's a wrap. The stakes are officially at an all-time high. And the ocean just dunks on him again, reminding him who's really in charge here. Zeke's trying to find his footing, literally, in the middle of this absolute chaos. He's trying to use his big-ass legs to kick his way out of this mess. Bro, you're not on land anymore. Zeke's underwater, getting his ass handed to him by the same current he's been beefing with for 20 years. My man surfaces for a quick breath, probably realizing the ocean is a much bigger asshole than he thought. He's trying to give himself a pep talk, like a few positive thoughts are gonna stop a whole-ass tsunami. And he's back to screaming his head off because the ocean is still winning this fight by a landslide. The whole island is getting absolutely washed. The weather has officially chosen maximum violence. Meanwhile, Nova is getting a hard reboot of his origin story, officially drowning for the second time. The kid's just spinning underwater, completely at the mercy of the current that loves to bully him, and he's officially passed out. This kid's survival instincts have a terrible track record with water. Zeke finally manages to plant his feet, refusing to get deleted by a damn puddle. My man finally drags his ass back to shore, looking like he just went 10 rounds with a tidal wave. Zeke's looking absolutely gassed, but he's officially won his first round against the ocean. And his first thought isn't even about himself. He's already in full-blown dad panic mode looking for Nova. Meanwhile, the kid is having a hard reboot of his origin story, passed out cold at the bottom of a puddle. Nova's officially checking out, his brain hitting him with the can't breathe error message. Zeke just starts headbutting a damn log, probably trying to cause a ripple to find the kid. Desperate times, man. And the log goes flying. My man is literally moving heaven and earth to find his son. He finally spots the kid's body floating in the aftermath. This is every parent's worst nightmare. Zeke's just screaming at the kid's unconscious body, trying to will him back to life. And the kid finally coughs up half the damn ocean, officially rebooting his system. That's the eye of a dad who just aged another 20 years in about 5 seconds. The relief is real. Nova's checking on Zeke, who's just staring down with the most traumatized dad face I've ever seen. Zeke just lets out a massive sigh, finally processing that his kid didn't just get deleted by the ocean. The storm's aftermath is brutal, with trees snapped in half. The island is officially wrecked. We get a bird's-eye view of the destruction. The tsunami really did a number on their little slice of hell. The whole landscape is just mud and broken trees now. Their home base just got a hard reset. Even Wilson got tossed around in the chaos looking like a sad, forgotten lawn ornament. They're surveying the damage, and Zeke admits this is the worst storm he's seen in 20 years on this rock. Zeke's doing the math, wondering how much of their already shitty island just got claimed by the ocean. But hey, on the bright side, the tsunami delivered some free fish. The ocean giveth, the ocean taketh away. Zeke's already stressing about round 2, realizing the ocean could just decide to delete them again tomorrow. Nova's just processing the apocalypse when his spidey senses start tingling again. The kid jumps, probably thinking the ocean is back for round 3 of trying to delete him. And it's the armored fatty, who somehow survived the tsunami and is now just floating out there like a sad buoy. Nova asks for a Pokédex entry on the new guy, and Zeke confirms he's supposed to be an aquatic type. The kid points out that for a good swimmer, this dude is having a full-on system failure in the water. Zeke's thinking this dude's struggle is suspicious as hell, even after getting yeeted by a whole-ass tsunami. And that's the eye of a man who has decided to stop asking questions and start choosing violence. Zeke starts walking towards the water, and Nova's just watching, probably wondering what the hell is about to happen. The kid asks if it's murder time, and Zeke just hits him with a cold yep. The Cold War is officially over.
Meanwhile, the armored fatty is still having the worst swimming lesson of his life, completely unaware he's on the menu.
Zeke's officially stepping into the ring, ready to end this awkward roommate situation for good. The armored fatty is screaming his head off, finally realizing the landlord is here to collect the rent. Zeke's thinking the new guy is putting up a fight, completely misreading the "I'm drowning" vibes. My man is just trying not to drown, looking absolutely terrified. He's not a threat, he's a victim. Zeke's getting impatient, trying to hype himself up to fold this walking tank. The armored dude is still flailing like a MAGA carp. This is less of a fight and more of a rescue mission gone wrong. And Zeke goes for the kill shot, lunging at the poor bastard with zero hesitation. But hold up, the sea psycho from before just yoinked their dinner from underneath. This island has no chill. Nova's on the shore, completely losing his mind as the turf war just got a third-party entry. Even Zeke is completely caught off guard, realizing he just tried to steal a snack from a much bigger asshole. Nova's having a trauma flashback, realizing his life has been a horror movie from day one. The sea psycho is just parading its new chew toy, and Nova's realizing this island is built different. The kid is just standing there, his brain completely short-circuiting from the absolute chaos. That's the eye of a creature that just stole your lunch and gives zero fucks about it. And the sea psycho just dips with its takeout, leaving them with nothing but more trauma. Nova's just watching the chaos unfold, officially done with this island's bullshit difficulty setting. The kid's just wandering the trashed beach, trying to process that they survived yet another apocalypse. Zeke's looking over his now trashed kingdom, realizing the storm really did a number on their home. Half the damn island is a swamp now. The tsunami really just said, fuck your property values. The other half is just a wasteland of broken trees. This place went from hell to post-apocalyptic hell. Nova's processing the day's bullshit, but he's not even focused on the near-death part. The kid's not even tripping about almost drowning for the third time. This is just a Tuesday for him now. He's not even fazed by the sea psycho yoinking their potential dinner. My man's desensitized. The real shocker was Zeke looking at that sea monster like it was just another Tuesday. The kid's connecting the dots, remembering Zeke's boomer lecture from a few days ago. He's flashing back to Zeke roasting him for not being able to handle a small sea lizard. And the kid finally gets it. The old man wasn't just being a hater, he was dropping facts. Nova's watching Zeke walk off, realizing the old man is playing a whole different game. The kid's wondering if Zeke knew about that sea psycho this whole damn time. And Zeke just looks back, confirming he's been holding out on the Pokedex entries this whole time. Nova's having another galaxy brain moment, realizing the tsunami just delivered a free buffet to their doorstep. The ocean is finally chilling out, leaving behind a bunch of free snacks for our boys. Zeke's already sniffing out the free seafood delivery, his hunter instincts kicking back in after the chaos. Nova's already celebrating their luck, saying they won't have to worry about food for a while. Zeke's trying to be a buzzkill, reminding the kid that their entire home is still completely trashed. But he's trying to look on the bright side, pointing out their freshwater source is still good. Nova's already housing the tsunami leftovers, casually mentioning that their island is now smaller. We get a bird's eye view of the new, smaller hell island they're stuck on. And from a distance you can really see how absolutely screwed they still are. Zeke's yelling about something, then immediately gets spooked. My man's paranoia is still at an all-time high. Nova's just lying there, giving Zeke that "I know what you did" look. The kid's onto him. Zeke's back in his sad boy phase, and Nova's wondering why the old man's mood swings are so damn wild. The kid calls him out, ready to drop some hard truths on the old man. Zeke turns around, looking all innocent like he wasn't just having an existential crisis 2 seconds ago. And Nova just hits him with it, asking for the real reason they're stuck on this godforsaken rock. Zeke's playing dumb, but that sweat bead says he's been caught lying his ass off. The kid connects the dots, realizing the sea psycho is the real problem, not some damn waves. Zeke's just staring, completely busted. My man has no comeback for this one. Nova calls him out for trying to protect his feelings, realizing the old man was just scared he'd give up. And he finishes the roast, screaming that Zeke's been using the ocean as a scapegoat this whole time. Zeke's still playing dumb, acting like he has no idea what the kid is talking about. Nova's just laying it out, saying he's not mad, just disappointed Zeke didn't trust him with the truth. My man is still trying to sell the "it's the waves" story, completely in denial that he's been caught. And the old man finally has a moment of clarity, realizing this isn't just some misunderstanding. The kid connects the dots, realizing the armored fatty's freakout was because of the sea psycho. Zeke finally gets it. He wasn't protecting the kid. He was just scared of seeing him lose hope. He's flashing back to Nova's face when he was in full despair mode. The guilt is hitting hard. Zeke finally accepts it, realizing he's been handling this whole situation wrong from the start. And he's finally ready to come clean, about to drop the truth bomb on the kid. Nova's just looking up, ready to hear the old man's confession after calling him out on his bullshit. Zeke finally comes clean, admitting he knew about the sea psycho from the very beginning. And he gives a visual, confirming that big-ass monster has been lurking this whole damn time. But then he backpedals, saying the monster isn't the main reason they're stuck. My man can't just take the L. Nova's just looking back like, bro, make up your damn mind, what's the real story? Zeke's ego kicks in, saying even the sea psychos know better than to mess with a full-grown T-Rex. He's literally picturing himself in the water, acting like he's too much of a unit to be an easy snack. My man's dropping his weight class, saying one bite from him would turn that sea lizard into a goddamn puzzle. And he's bringing up his old escape attempts again, about to double down on his original excuse. Nova's just listening, probably realizing this old man is about to go in circles with his bullshit. And we get a shot of a tree getting folded, because Zeke's about to blame the damn weather again. Zeke's still trying to sell his story, screaming that he was willing to risk it all to get off this rock. My man's showing a flashback of his sad doggy paddle, trying to prove he actually put in the effort. And he's back to blaming the damn waves, saying the island just kept pulling him back in. Bro, we've heard this one. Nova's just looking at him like, the waves? Really, my dude? That's the story you're sticking with? The kid's replaying the whole armored fatty situation, realizing Zeke's explanation is full of holes. He's remembering how the sea psycho just yoinked the armored dude, and the pieces are starting to click. And there it is, the galaxy brain moment. The kid is officially connecting the dots on the old man's bullshit. Nova's having a full-on flashback montage of every time Zeke has gaslit him about the ocean. Zeke's sweating bullets as Nova throws his own don't lose hope lecture right back in his face. And the kid is literally jumping up and down, screaming that he's finally figured out the old man's big secret. Zeke's having a flashback to some random family drama, completely blindsided by the kid's sudden outburst. The kid is screaming that he's cracked the code, finally figuring out how to get them off this godforsaken rock. Zeke's just looking at him, completely baffled, like the kid just started speaking another language. Nova's still screaming about his master plan, using Wilson the Skull as his dramatic backdrop. The old man is still processing, asking the kid to run that galaxy brain idea back one more time. Zeke's still skeptical, but Nova's standing there like he's about to drop the biggest truth bomb of their lives. Zeke's asking what the hell the kid is even talking about, still not buying this sudden stroke of genius. The kid's getting pissed, screaming that he's not lying and that the old man needs to listen for once. The old man is just frozen, finally realizing the kid might not be just having another tantrum. Nova's trying to calm himself down, getting ready to drop the 200 IQ play on the old man. Zeke's demanding proof for this galaxy brain idea, and Nova's screaming that nothing has changed. The kid immediately corrects himself, screaming that the damn wind has changed. Okay, meteorologist. Zeke's just looking at him like, the wind, bro, that's your master plan? Nova's dropping a whole weather report, explaining the wind used to blow one way, and now it's blowing the other way. The kid is losing his mind over a damn breeze. Zeke finally notices, admitting he didn't even realize the wind changed. My man's been checked out. But he immediately dismisses it, saying a little wind change after a storm is nothing. Nova's not done, bringing up the armored fatty as his next piece of evidence. He's pointing out the armored dude was supposed to be a swimmer but got absolutely folded by the ocean. The kid's asking why the fatty didn't just swim to the island for safety. The plot thickens. Zeke's just staring, his brain doing a full system reboot after getting hit with that 200 IQ observation. The kid drops the bomb. Maybe the currents changed with the wind and that's why the fatty couldn't make it. And Zeke is booking it to the water to see if the kids actually cracked the code. The old man is finally processing that the kid's weather report might be their one-way ticket out of this hellhole. Zeke's looking at the new landscape, finally realizing the kid's not just having a tantrum, he's spitting facts. My man's testing the water himself, and you can tell by his face that the kid was right on the money. Nova's on the shore looking smug as hell, and the narrator confirms the kid just schooled the old man. The science checks out. The waves are weaker and the current is now an escape route, not a death trap. Zeke's roasting himself for not noticing the change when he was literally getting folded by the tsunami. My man's having a full-on crisis, realizing a kid just solved a puzzle that stumped him for 20 years. Nova's looking smug as hell, taking a victory lap after Zeke finally admits the kid was right all along. Zeke's already planning their final island tour, and Nova's just happy to be included in the escape plan. The narrator's getting all philosophical, dropping a "with misfortune" line as Zeke takes a dramatic step. And the follow-up is, "comes fortune," as they walk along their new potential escape route. Zeke's breaking the fourth wall, feeling like the narrator is calling them out directly for their sudden luck. Nova spots something in the sky, completely losing his mind with excitement like a kid seeing a plane. And it's a whole-ass pterosaur migration, basically a giant flying arrow pointing to get the hell off this island. Zeke confirms it's a migration, acting like he's seen this a million times. Yeah, from the ground, my dude. My man's watching their old food delivery service fly off to the mainland, confirming their escape route is legit. Zeke's still trying to wrap his head around the science, wondering what caused the currents to change in the first place. Zeke's still trying to process it, admitting that out of all the storms, this is the first one to actually change the game. And the narrator drops a whole geology lesson, explaining that some volcano just decided to change the damn weather patterns. The story confirms our boys are too dumb to know the science. They just know the ocean is being less of an asshole. Zeke's like, fuck the details. All that matters is the ocean's bullshit is finally working in their favor for once. And the tsunami left behind some free calamari, because even a natural disaster has its perks. Zeke's just staring at the free seafood, his brain probably rebooting after 20 years of starvation mode. My man's officially in strategy mode, ready to break down their new Escape from Hell Island game plan. Nova's just nodding along, confirming step 1 of the plan: the ocean is no longer trying to delete them on sight. But Zeke immediately hits him with the bad news, pointing out the tsunami also yeeted all of Nova's usual snacks. He explains their bird Uber Eats service has officially been canceled, leaving them with no easy food source on the island. Zeke drops another bomb, casually mentioning their whole island is sinking into the ocean. Nova's just processing all this, admitting today has been one hell of an info dump. Zeke explains the tsunami is literally deleting their island, putting a hard deadline on their escape plan. My man's going full motivational speaker, telling the kid they're getting off this rock before it gets deleted. The kid is looking determined as hell, finally seeing a real light at the end of the tunnel. Zeke's trying to get a hype chant going, officially kicking off their Escape from Hell Island tour on day 50. The narrator confirms it. After 50 days of pure chaos, they've finally found a way out. And they're both just screaming their heads off, finally letting out all that pent-up desperation. The story's setting a somber mood, reminding us they're heading back to where all the trauma began. Zeke asks about post-island plans, and Nova casually drops that he's going to go find his dad. Nova's asking the old man for his post-escape bucket list, trying to keep the good vibes going. Zeke's only dream is to absolutely house a triceratops. My man is tired of the seafood diet. The kid realizes he's been doing all the trauma dumping and asks Zeke for his villain origin story. Zeke's brain just short-circuits, completely unprepared to talk about his feelings for the first time in 20 years. Nova's pressing him for the full story, tired of getting the redacted version of Zeke's life. My man is looking away, clearly not ready to unpack 2 decades of island-induced trauma. Zeke hits him with the "I'll tell you later," and Nova is officially pissed about the storytime blue balls. The kid's throwing a fit while Zeke tries to downplay his past like it's not a whole-ass tragedy. Zeke's trying to sell this as a fun surprise for later, but Nova is not having any of his bullshit. The old man drops some boomer philosophy about how trauma becomes a funny story later. Sure, dude. Nova's still screaming, completely rejecting Zeke's "I'll tell you later" bullshit. Zeke's in his head, admitting he was too embarrassed to share his tragic backstory. The old man's finally feeling guilty, realizing he should have just told the kid the truth from the jump. He's flashing back to Nova chasing him, realizing his secrecy just made things worse. Zeke's admitting he was a coward and now he's regretting not being straight with the kid. And Nova's back to sulking, giving the old man the full silent treatment experience again. Zeke tries to talk to him, but the kid is still in his "don't talk to me" phase. The old man is just looking on, probably realizing he's got a long apology tour ahead of him. And we get a dramatic shot of the ocean, because it's time to move on from the family drama. Wilson's just chilling, completely unbothered by the emotional roller coaster these two are on. Zeke's finally dropping his villain origin story, admitting being alone sent him straight to his sad boy phase. My man's explaining that being hungry and lonely for 20 years just left him feeling completely helpless. We get a shot of a younger, sadder Zeke just staring at the ocean that's been bullying him for years. He's talking about how he raged against his situation, but the island just hit him with the read receipt. In the end, he just gave up and was depressed 24/7. My man was in his emo era for 2 decades. He was even scared to go to sleep, probably having nightmares about eating his own tail again. And there's the fear. Just dying alone and becoming another sad skeleton on this godforsaken rock. But then he hits Nova with the "you changed me," admitting the kid rebooted his whole system. He's flashing back to all their bullshit, from fighting sea lizards to snatching pterosaurs out of the sky. Zeke admits the kid's chaos was so distracting he didn't have time to be depressed. Nova is his emotional support dumbass. Zeke's explaining that while he was having a 20-year mental breakdown, the island was just vibing. But now the island is just as wrecked as he is, thanks to that whole tsunami situation. Nova's just soaking it all in, finally getting the full Zeke villain origin story. Zeke drops a weird one, saying he's mentally younger than Nova. Bro, what does that even mean? My man's admitting his body aged, but his mind is still a traumatized kid, which is why he's so embarrassed. Nova's just trying to process this emotional bomb, and Zeke hits him with a dramatic "but." And we're in the flashback, seeing a young, happy Zeke before this island turned him into a sad boy. Zeke's explaining he just wanted to sleep and forget everything, but the island wouldn't let him. My man's having a full-on trauma flashback, reliving his early days on this godforsaken rock. He's talking about wanting to go back, probably too before he got stranded and his life went to shit. Zeke's still not ready for the full therapy session, promising to unpack his trauma later. Classic boomer move. And we get a dramatic moonshot, because it's time for the final act of this Hell Island arc. We jump to day 55, and it's officially time to get the hell off this godforsaken rock. Nova's looking nervous as hell, probably realizing his swim faster plan is about to be tested. Zeke's got his game face on, ready to finally beat the ocean that's been bullying him for 2 decades. And he takes the first step. The Escape from Hell Island tour is officially kicking off. The narrator confirms they've spent the last 4 days in full-on prep mode for the big escape. They're carbo-loading for the big swim, making sure they're not too full to float. My man's even doing some amateur astronomy, making sure the sky isn't about to choose violence too. Zeke confirms the stars are their GPS and they're not moving. The escape route is officially locked in. Zeke's having a last-minute crisis, wondering if the mainland he remembers even exists anymore. My man's giving one last look to his boy Wilson, the only friend who never talked back. And there's Wilson, holding down the fort one last time. Pour one out for the realest one on the island. Zeke's looking up, officially done with his sad boy phase and ready to face whatever comes next. Nova's over here vibrating with anxiety and excitement. The kid is about to pop. The kid's dropping another observation, pointing out some weird timing to the old man. Nova's saying the island started sinking right when they could leave, like it's telling them to get lost for good. Zeke just hits him with a serious Nova, about to drop some final words before they dip. The kid's just looking up, ready for the final pep talk before they jump into the great unknown. Zeke's giving the final hype speech, and they're officially kicking off the Escape from Hell Island world tour. Zeke takes his first step into the water, officially ending his 20-year beef with the ocean. My man is booking it into the waves, not giving the island a chance to change its damn mind. They're leaving their Hell Island behind, and you just know Zeke is having a full-on emotional moment, and Nova's screaming goodbye to Wilson. My man is more torn up about a skull than almost dying. Zeke's screaming his goodbyes to the rock that's been trying to kill him for 2 decades. And there's Wilson, left to hold down the fort. Pour one out for the realest one on the island. The island is officially in the rearview mirror. No turning back now, boys. And now it's just them and the big blue. The real survival horror starts now. The narrator confirms it. After 20-something years, the old man is finally off the rock. And we get a pterosaur transition shot, because the story is officially moving on from Hell Island. Nova's on lookout duty, already spotting something in the water. The kid's taking his new job seriously. And it's one of their old pterosaur snacks, probably heading back to the mainland for a family reunion. The narrator confirms their genius plan is to just swim. Nova's already pointing out their old food source. The kid's wondering if their old Uber Eats driver is also heading home. Zeke's just a living raft now. The narrator's setting the stakes, saying they've got until sunset to make it. The clock is officially ticking. Zeke's putting the kid on official lookout duty, and Nova's all about that promotion. My man's job is to spot land or anything sketchy. Finally, his paranoia is a useful skill. The story's explaining that if Nova messes up, they could just float past the whole damn continent. No pressure, kid. Zeke's just focused on swimming, putting all his trust in the kid's eyes. This is some serious character development. And the old man is just paddling along, officially turning into a T-Rex-powered speedboat. Nova's already getting paranoid about the clouds because of course he is. My man's a professional worrier. Zeke's trying to be the chill dad, telling the kid to relax while he does all the damn work. The narrator hits them with the however, which is universal code for your good day is officially over. And Nova's already screaming his head off, finally putting his lookout skills to use for something other than clouds. Zeke's face is pure, "You've got to be kidding me," realizing their main problem just found them in the open ocean. And there he is, the sea psycho from before, popping up to say hello like the world's worst neighbor. We get a close-up on that dead-ass eye, and the narrator confirms the sea lizard is back for round 2. The sea psycho is just cruising alongside them, and the narrator calls it their first crisis. Bro, their whole life is a crisis. And we get the full Pokedex entry on this Mosasaurus, confirming it's the apex predator they've been avoiding. The story confirms this sea psycho is in the same weight class as Zeke. The turf war is about to go mobile. The narrator confirms the sea psycho is officially the new final boss of their escape plan. Zeke's already realizing their 5-minute-old escape plan has hit a major, toothy snag. The old man's trying to give a pep talk, acting like they actually prepared for this exact scenario. Zeke's about to pull a 200 IQ move, or at least that's what his dramatic eye zoom is telling us. He dives in, and the sea psycho is just waiting for him, looking like a giant, scaly puppy. That's the eye of a man who is 100% improvising and hoping for the best. Zeke tries to swim past like nothing's wrong, but the sea psycho is already tailgating him, and now they're just doing laps, sizing each other up in the world's most dangerous staring contest. The sea psycho looks way too chill, probably just trying to decide which part of Zeke to eat first. Zeke admits he knew this was a possibility, confirming the sea psycho was the real problem all along. And we're back in the pre-escape flashback, with Zeke finally giving Nova the real Pokedex entry on the sea psychos. The kid is all ears, finally getting the strategy guide he should have had from day one. Zeke explains the sea lizards are nocturnal, which is why he's been so damn sketchy about them this whole time. Nova's connecting the dots, realizing he's only ever seen these things when the sun goes down. The old man lays out the 200 IQ play, leave at dawn to avoid the night shift monsters. Nova gives Zeke a little head boop, finally on the same page about not getting eaten. But the kid immediately brings up that there are always exceptions. My man's paranoia never takes a day off. Zeke agrees, telling him to be ready for a fight. At least he's not sugarcoating the danger anymore. And back in the present, the exception is just vibing, looking like a giant scaly problem with a weird tongue. Zeke's trying to rationalize, saying if it was hunting, they'd already be a 2-course meal. Zeke's trying to play psychologist, guessing the sea psycho is just curious about the new T-Rex-shaped boat. Nova's actually remembering the game plan, trying not to have a full-blown panic attack on Zeke's back. Zeke's playing bodyguard, making sure he's the first thing on the menu if this sea psycho gets hungry. My man's about to hit him with the "don't fuck with me" stare, trying to look tough while probably shitting himself. And there's the warning shot, Zeke opening his jaw like he's about to unhinge it. He's basically screaming, "We don't want any trouble," trying to de-escalate with a face full of teeth. The sea psycho just hits him with the stare, probably wondering if this loud idiot is worth the effort. And the bluff actually worked. The sea psycho just dips like it's got better things to do. They both surface for air, letting out the breath they've been holding for the entire damn encounter. Zeke's giving the kid props for not freaking out, and the narrator confirms crisis number 1 is officially over. The sea psycho is just swimming off, completely unbothered after that whole standoff. And it hits them with a parting idiot's roast on the way out. Damn, even the wildlife thinks they're clowns. Zeke's just trying to swim it off, pretending his pride wasn't just mortally wounded by a sea lizard. The old man's already doing the math, realizing they've been paddling for hours with no land in sight. Nova's noticing his T-Rex speedboat is running out of gas, and the anxiety is starting to kick back in. And the reality check hits hard. They're just a tiny speck in a whole lot of nothing. Zeke's officially hitting his limit, the what-if thoughts starting to creep in after hours of swimming. The existential dread is officially here, as they both realize there is no plan B if this doesn't work. And the old man's body officially calls it quits, starting to sink after paddling for half a damn day. Nova's head whips around, realizing his T-Rex-shaped life raft is about to become a submarine. Nova's spidey senses are tingling again, but this time it's not another sea monster. The kid is losing his damn mind, screaming that he's finally spotted land. Zeke's eye goes wide with relief. The 20-year nightmare is finally about to end. My man gets a second wind, and they're booking it to shore with what little gas they have left. Zeke's still paddling like his life depends on it, giving one final push to get them home. And his foot finally hits solid ground. They actually fucking made it. But Nova's looking around like something's off, and Zeke's eye is showing that same confusion. The narrator hits them with the "wait a second," and the victory music just screeched to a halt. Nova's looking at the sand, and the vibe is officially shifting from "we're saved" to "oh fuck." The kid's asking what's up with this place, and Zeke's face says he's having a terrible case of deja vu. And the universe hits them with the ultimate troll move. They just landed on another goddamn island. Zeke's already feeling it in his bones. They just traded one hell island for its slightly shittier cousin. Nova's asking the obvious question, his little brain trying to process that they just swam for hours to go nowhere. The old man confirms their worst fears, admitting this place is an island, but the vibes are way off. Zeke's trying to spin this massive L, telling the kid at least they're not drowning anymore. Silver linings, I guess. Nova's just standing there, his face screaming, "We went through all that bullshit for this?" Zeke's giving himself a pep talk, realizing he has to keep his shit together or the kid's gonna have a meltdown. They're taking a sad walk on the beach while Zeke tries to rally the troops. The morale is at an all-time low. Zeke's playing botanist, pointing out the plants here are from the mainland. This isn't just any island. He's also noticing the place is a wreck, with fallen trees everywhere. This island has seen some shit. Zeke's connecting the dots, realizing this trashed island looks a little too familiar to the one they just left. The old man's brain finally catches up, and the word tsunami hits him like a damn truck. Nova's watching Zeke have a full system freeze, completely unaware the old man's brain just blue-screened. That's the eye of a man who just realized he made a terrible, terrible universe-trolling mistake. The kid is panicking, and Zeke just hits him with a no way, completely lost in his own horror movie. And my man just starts booking it back into the ocean he just spent 20 years trying to escape. Nova's losing his mind, screaming at Zeke for having a random aquatic meltdown after they just got to shore. And there it is, a whole-ass plesiosaur just vibing. This island's got a whole different Pokedex. Zeke's just staring at the new local, his brain trying to process this new level of bullshit. My man's looking back at the ocean, and the horrible, horrible truth is finally hitting him. Zeke gets the kid's attention, about to drop the worst news of their entire goddamn lives. The old man's having a full system meltdown, realizing they made a huge, catastrophic miscalculation. Nova's still completely lost, wondering what the hell Zeke is having a panic attack about now. Zeke confirms this is land, but his tone says it's the shittiest land in the entire world. My man's just staring at this sad little sandbar, the hope draining from his face in real time. And the universe confirms it. They didn't find the mainland, they found what's left of it after the tsunami. The kid's still trying to process, looking around like, this doesn't look like the brochure. Zeke's feet are sinking into the mud, a perfect metaphor for their current situation. They are so screwed. Nova's finally catching up, demanding an explanation for why Zeke looks like he's seen a ghost. And Zeke drops the bomb. This was the mainland, but the tsunami deleted it. Their escape plan was a bust. Zeke confirms their destination is now just a sad, wet sandbox. The universe really has it out for them. We flash back to their big swim with Zeke doing all the work. My man was so hopeful just a few hours ago. Zeke's admitting their one big mistake. They only planned for the trip, not the damn destination. My man's having a full-blown crisis, realizing they never considered if the mainland even survived the tsunami. Nova's brain is buffering, finally catching up to the fact that their entire plan was built on a massive L. We're back in the pre-escape flashback, when they were still high on hope and low on common sense. And back to the present, with Zeke looking absolutely gassed from swimming to literally nowhere. Zeke's explaining their galaxy brain math, using Nova's arrival time to guess the distance. Spoiler, it was a bad guess. He's replaying the whole plan, factoring in the sea psychos and his own speed. My man thought he had it all figured out. And the final nail in the coffin, his confident prediction that they'd make it by sunset. Oof, that aged poorly. Zeke's admitting their plan had one fatal flaw. They only thought about the currents, not the destination. We flash back to their big swim. Completely clueless, they were paddling towards a giant L. Nova's looking around like a lost puppy as Zeke prepares to drop the soul-crushing truth bomb. The old man's dropping a history lesson, reminding the kid there's a 20-year gap in his GPS data. He asks if the mainland would even look the same, and Nova's like, probably not. Zeke's sweating bullets, explaining how much shit the mainland must have gone through in 2 decades. He confirms the tsunami didn't just hit their island, it probably deleted the whole damn coastline. Zeke explains their destination got swallowed by the ocean, confirming they were aiming for a ghost. And all that's left are these sad little sandbars with the real mainland way the hell out there. That's the eye of a man who just realized their escape plan was the biggest L of his life. And Zeke just faceplants into the mud, officially giving up on life after that massive L. My man is completely broken, his system hit with the 20 years of hope-deleted error message. The old man is just hyperventilating, the full weight of his colossal fuck-up finally hitting him. Nova's watching his only hope for survival have a full-blown mental breakdown right in front of him. Zeke hits him with the full apology, admitting he led them to another, even shittier Hell Island. The narrator just confirms it. Their galaxy brain escape plan was a complete and utter failure. They tried swimming again, but the universe just hit them with an endless loading screen of ocean. And the final verdict is in, they're stuck on a sad little sandbox with no hope in sight. Zeke's just lying there, completely checked out. The man's spirit has officially left his body. Day 56, and they've officially upgraded from stranded on an island to stranded on a puddle. Zeke's still face down in the mud, as the narrator confirms they're about to get deleted by a storm. Nova's just curled up, officially accepting that their situation has gone from bad to game over. Zeke finally drags his ass up, looking like a man who's about to accept his fate. My man's doing the math and realizes this new storm is about to wash their tiny sandbox off the map. He's thinking about how everything, including them, is about to get a hard reset. The despair is real. Even Nova's asking if this is the end. The kid's hope has officially been deleted from the server. Zeke's just wondering where it all went wrong, like a dude replaying the last moments of a failed boss fight. My man's debating if they should have just stayed on the island, realizing they were cooked from the start. Zeke hits a new low, wishing he'd never been born. My man is officially in his final sad boy era. But Nova's still fighting it, thinking he doesn't want to die. The kid's survival instinct is still online. The narrator hits them with a dramatic but, because their suffering can't just end quietly. Zeke's coming out of his sad boy coma, noticing the waves are acting sketchy again. My man's internal weather report is kicking in, realizing another storm is about to delete them. And that's the eye of a man whose brain just rebooted with a terrible last-ditch idea. The narrator drops a Jurassic Park quote as Zeke decides to choose violence against the storm. He starts screaming for Nova, officially snapping out of his emo phase to be a motivational speaker. Zeke's looking at the kid, ready to pitch the most unhinged escape plan of all time. My man's got that crazy hope look back in his eye, talking about one last shot at this. Nova's just looking up like, bro, weren't you just wishing for death 5 seconds ago? And the master plan is a log. They're gonna try to surf a damn tsunami on a piece of wood. Nova's just looking at him like, bro, you were just about to log off permanently. What the hell is this? Zeke's already booking it, screaming at the kid to keep up. The surf the apocalypse plan is a go. The storm is officially rolling in, and Zeke's using it as a goddamn countdown timer for his insane plan. The ocean is already choosing maximum violence again, ready to delete their little sandbox for good. Zeke's dragging their new ride, a whole-ass tree trunk, while Nova just watches. My man is the muscle and the brains. They've got their sad little raft in the water, and Nova's demanding an explanation for this suicide mission. The kid is losing his mind, trying to connect the dots between a log, a storm, and their survival. Zeke's got that crazy, I've cracked the code look, confirming this unhinged plan is their only shot. Nova's brain is still buffering, completely unable to process the 5D chess Zeke is playing with a damn storm. Zeke's about to drop the logic, asking the kid to remember his own villain origin story from day one. Zeke's dropping the logic. Remember how you almost died clinging to a rock? We're doing that again, but on purpose. He's pitching the storm as a free Uber, saying the waves will do all the work and won't get tired. Nova's looking at him like he's insane, especially after Zeke says there's no risk of drowning. My man's going full crazy-eyed motivational speaker, screaming that they'll just ride it out until they hit land. Nova calls his ass out, saying it's a total gamble, and Zeke just admits it. The desperation is real. The kid's bringing up their history, reminding Zeke that even their first success was a 1 in a million shot. Nova's officially having a meltdown, screaming that this isn't a plan, it's a prayer to the RNG gods. Zeke hits him with the sad dad look, saying they can't just give up even if the plan is pure desperation. The old man apologizes, admitting he's out of ideas, and then starts to throw Nova's own words back at him. And Nova remembers his own boomer lecture, getting hit with that don't lose hope line he dropped on day one. Zeke's on their sad little log raft, admitting their plan is basically a prayer to the RNG gods. Nova's just crying, officially accepting that their life is now a game of chance. Zeke's trying to rally the troops, getting ready to kick off their Surf the Apocalypse world tour. And they're off, pushing their sad little log into the storm that's about to delete them. Zeke's dropping the 200 IQ strategy. Ride the waves, but try not to get folded by them. Genius. And the ocean immediately says, fuck your plan, swallowing them whole with a massive wave. Nova's getting absolutely ragdolled by the storm, having the worst water park experience of his life. Zeke's already taking damage, but he's got that "I'm too stubborn to die" look on his face. But hold up, that wasn't just a wave. A whole-ass sea titan just got hit in the crossfire and is screaming. The giant sea creature is having a full-on meltdown, turning their storm ride into a goddamn monster mash. And Zeke's already taking damage, getting absolutely bodied by whatever the hell just crashed their party. Nova's freaking out while Zeke is pissed he got caught lacking in the middle of a goddamn hurricane. The sea psycho is just as confused, wondering how the hell it got dragged into this mess. Zeke's realizing their surf the storm plan didn't account for the local wildlife getting pissed off. Nova's just trying to process why their Uber driver is now a whole-ass sea monster, and the ocean yeets them off their log, throwing them right into the water with the new guy. The sea psycho is already circling them, probably wondering if they're the ones who started this shit. They surface right next to the monster, and their 1-in-a-million plan is officially a failure. Zeke immediately goes into bodyguard mode, telling Nova to hide behind him like that's gonna help. Nova's just floating there, realizing he's about to be the side dish in a T-Rex versus Sea Titan fight. Nova's actually listening for once, hiding behind Zeke like a scared little kid. Zeke's screaming his head off as the Sea Psycho lines up its kill shot, and the Sea Psycho goes for the chomp, looking like it's about to swallow them whole. The ocean just explodes as the Sea Psycho makes its move. Absolute chaos. And Zeke gets absolutely bodied, caught in the Sea Psycho's jaws like a goddamn chew toy. The Sea Psycho is just ragdolling the old man, while Nova has a front row seat to the horror show. And just like that, the Sea Psycho dips, leaving Zeke looking like he just lost a boss fight. Zeke's bleeding out, but still trying to play bodyguard, telling the kid to swim for it. The Sea Psycho is just chilling underwater, like it didn't just almost delete the main character. The monster might be gone, but they're still stuck in a hurricane with no raft. The L's just keep coming. The narrator confirms their suicide mission just got a difficulty spike. You absolutely love to see it. And there's the damage report. A whole-ass chunk of Zeke just got deleted from the server. Zeke's pissed that out of all the times to get jumped, it had to be during a goddamn hurricane. Nova's freaking out about the new hole in Zeke, but the old man is trying to play it cool. The kid's still shook, and Zeke's over here calling getting his arm ripped off lucky. Okay, dude. My man's realizing if he hadn't turned his head, he'd be a goddamn Pez dispenser right now. He's calling it a miracle he only lost an arm. Bro, your standards for survival are in hell. Nova's just trying to process this while Zeke is already back in his stare down the ocean mode. And the Sea Psycho is just doing a victory lap out there, not even trying to hide anymore. The Sea Psycho just pops up like, "You guys done yet?" This thing is just a straight-up hater. Zeke's standing on a wave, admitting their luck has officially run out. My man knows the next hit is the last one. The old man's doing the math, realizing this new Sea Psycho is a whole different weight class. The final boss just got an upgrade. Zeke's analyzing the Sea Psycho's movements, realizing it didn't just leave, it's plotting something. And he gets it. They didn't just get attacked, they stumbled right into the final boss's territory. The water goes calm, which is universal code for, "You're about to get jumped." Zeke's realizing the storm is about to delete their tiny sandbar, putting them on a very hard timer. My man connects the dots. The Sea Psycho is just waiting for the island to sink so it can get an easy meal. The Sea Psycho is just lurking, waiting for them to be forced into the water. It's a checkmate situation. That's the face of a man who knows he's completely and utterly screwed. The hope is officially gone. Nova's looking at the old man for a plan, but Zeke's brain has officially blue-screened. Nova's asking for a plan, but Zeke's already in his "I'm dead inside" era, feeling the L in his bones. The old man is officially out of ideas, his brain just showing a 404 error page for survival plans. Zeke's having a full-on existential crisis, realizing all their suffering was for absolutely nothing, and the ocean is officially choosing violence, ready to delete their last bit of land from the server. My man's just watching their sandbox sink, confirming they're on a very tight schedule to die. Nova's having a flashback of all the time Zeke carried him, feeling useless as hell right now. The kid's roasting himself for being dead weight while the old man is bleeding out and broken. Nova's trying to force a galaxy brain moment, realizing it's his turn to save their asses for once. And there it is, the light bulb moment. The kid just spotted their 1-in-a-million shot. Nova gets the old man's attention, about to drop the most clutch play of his entire goddamn life. Nova drops the most unhinged plan of all time, volunteering to be the bait. My man's ready to be a dino nugget. The kid's spitting facts, saying the island's getting deleted anyway, so they might as well go down swinging. Zeke's just listening, the "I'm dead inside" look slowly fading as he processes the kid's suicide mission. Nova's going full shonen protagonist, screaming that they should just fight the final boss now instead of waiting. He throws Zeke's own faint hope lecture right back in his face while the sea psycho just vibes underwater. The kid is calling him out for his lone wolf act, screaming that he's not just dead weight anymore. And that's the look of a man whose entire worldview just got rocked by a screaming child. Zeke's taking a moment, finally realizing he doesn't have to carry this whole damn mess by himself. The old man agrees but hits him with a "my plan, not yours," ready to lead one last suicide mission. And the kid is all in, screaming that he's ready to die. The hype is officially back on the menu. Zeke's officially done stalling, ready to kick off the most unhinged suicide mission of all time. My man's pushing their log raft out and Nova's just standing there like, wait, what's the plan again? The kid's calling bullshit, but Zeke hits him with the "this is how you help me," and the vibe just got real dark. Nova's finally processing it. The plan is for Zeke to be the distraction so the kid can survive. Zeke's dropping the final speech saying as long as Nova makes it out, it's a win. My man's on his sacrifice arc. The kid is screaming as Zeke just yeets himself into the ocean to play bait for the final boss. And there it is. Zeke's in the water drawing aggro while Nova gets pushed to safety on the log. Zeke's hitting him with the classic "I'll catch up later" line, which is universal code for "I'm about to die." Nova's just floating away, forced to watch the old man pull the ultimate sacrifice play. Zeke's giving his final words, telling the kid to survive. My man's really about to solo the final boss with one arm. Zeke's out there screaming, a one-armed T-Rex against a whole-ass ocean in the middle of a hurricane. My man's roasting himself, calling himself pathetic for not being able to see the kid to safety, and the sea psycho is just lurking below, ready to finish the job like the final boss it is. Zeke plants his feet, getting ready to throw hands with a goddamn sea titan with one good arm. He's bleeding out, but the old man is still in this fight. The "I'm not dead yet" energy is strong. The ocean just explodes as the final boss fight officially kicks off. We don't even get to see the first hit. Zeke's done with the self-pity, deciding to go out in a blaze of glory. My man chose violence for his final act, and he goes for the throat, locking jaws with the sea psycho. If he's going down, he's taking a piece with him. They both get dragged under in a final chaotic splash. That's a wrap on the old man. Nova's just screaming into the void as the ocean goes quiet. Zeke is officially MIA. The sea psycho's tail disappears into the storm, and the final boss fight is officially happening off-screen. And Zeke surfaces, looking absolutely gassed but still breathing. My man is just too stubborn to get deleted. That's the eye of a man who's been to hell and back and is ready for round 2. My man's just floating, looking like a chew toy the sea psycho got bored with for a second. Zeke's having a full-on anime moment, realizing that facing death is making him fearless. The narrator confirms my man has officially stopped giving a fuck about dying. He's in his final form. He's thinking about how he always wanted to escape, but not like this. No shit, dude. Zeke's making a promise to himself that he's not dying here. My man's on his Terminator shit now. And he hits us with the "I will return" as the ocean tries to swallow him whole. But the sea psycho pops back up for the finisher, looking like it's about to unhinge its whole damn jaw. The sea psycho is getting absolutely thrashed, and the story hits us with a "To the Mainland" title card. The irony is palpable. And the sea psycho gets dragged under, its tail flailing like it just got caught by something way bigger. It surfaces again, looking like it just got its ass handed to it by whatever is down there. And there it is, the final boss just got deleted by the actual final boss. A bigger sea psycho just third-partied the fight. Zeke's just floating there, watching the food chain happen in real time, probably thanking the RNG gods for the assist. My man just watches the new apex predator swim off with his problem. The universe really just said, "You've suffered enough." Zeke's just vibing in the rain, his brain probably rebooting after witnessing that whole kaiju battle from the front row. He's finally on some solid ground, admitting this whole escape plan was never going to be a walk in the park. No shit, dude. My man's already back in strategy mode, realizing he's on a timer before this new spot gets deleted by the storm. And the water's already rising, confirming their little sandbox is about to be washed away for good. The clock is ticking. Zeke's doing the math, realizing the shallow water is the only thing keeping him from being a chew toy. The sea psycho is just lurking, completely unbothered and waiting for its moment. But the old man knows his one advantage is about to get washed away with the tide. He confirms that once the water gets deep enough, he's officially on the menu. The sea psycho is just chilling, waiting for the water to rise like it's got all the time in the world. And a quick reminder that Zeke's running on fumes and a whole lot of blood loss. The water's already covering his wound, and his one advantage is officially gone. And the sea psycho finally grabs him, with Zeke officially calling GG on his own life. A huge splash as the final boss fight kicks off for real this time. Zeke surfaces, admitting this sea psycho isn't just a brute, it's a strategist waiting for the perfect moment. Zeke's realizing the sea psycho sees him as a wounded, easy meal. Bro is literally a walking happy meal right now. The sea psycho confirms it's not just gonna let them go. This thing is the definition of a hater. Zeke's trying to do the math on a one-armed victory, and even he knows the odds are trash. My man's just leaking HP at this point, but he's still trying to square up with the final boss. The old man's having his final, "can I even do this" moment before he inevitably chooses violence. Nova's on the log giving himself a pep talk, finally realizing crying on a log won't solve shit. The kid is now the motivational speaker, screaming at Zeke not to give up. Look how the tables have turned. And the storm is just vibing, completely unbothered by the shonen protagonist moment happening below. Zeke's officially done with the self-doubt, screaming that he's all in on this suicide mission. The sea psycho is shook, not expecting the bleeding chew toy to suddenly get a power-up. Zeke plants his feet on the sinking sandbar, getting ready for the final boss fight of his life. My man's just floating there looking like a chew toy, but his eyes say he's ready for round 2. The sea psycho is just looking up like, is this bleeding, one-armed idiot for real right now? Zeke's dropping his 200 IQ play, basically taunting the sea psycho to charge him in the open. But my man's having a last-second "is this a good idea" moment. A little late for that, dude. He's going all in, admitting it's a total gamble, but it's the only play they've got left. And the sea psycho takes the bait, lunging right at him as Zeke meets the charge head-on. My man actually landed a hit. The sea psycho is bleeding from the face after underestimating the old man. That's the eye of a final boss that just realized the tutorial-level character can actually do damage. The sea psycho is officially pissed, screaming its head off after getting tagged by a one-armed T-Rex. Zeke's going full feral, sinking his teeth right into the sea psycho's face. My man is done playing defense. The sea psycho is thrashing like crazy, trying to shake the old man off like a bad habit. My man's got the sea psycho's whole jaw in his mouth. This is the most unhinged dental exam of all time. That's the eye of a man running on pure, uncut spite. He is not letting go for shit. The sea psycho is trying to bite back, and it looks like Zeke's arm is getting absolutely shredded in the process. And they both get dragged under. The final boss fight is officially a submarine brawl now. The sea psycho surfaces, looking like it just got its ass handed to it by a one-armed senior citizen. And Zeke gets absolutely yeeted. The sea psycho just used him as a goddamn baseball. But Zeke took a souvenir with him. My man bit off the tip of its tail on the way out. Zeke's back up, looking like he just went 12 rounds with the ocean itself, but he's still breathing. Zeke's just getting ragdolled by the storm, barely staying afloat after that whole kaiju battle. And his system finally shuts down. My man is officially unconscious after that final boss fight. The storm finally spits him out, and he's washed up on a beach, completely out cold. My man's eyes snap open, his brain rebooting after that near-death experience. The sky is clear, the birds are chirping. Wait, did he actually survive all that bullshit? Zeke's just looking around, his brain trying to process that he's not currently drowning for once. And the realization hits he's on solid ground. My man can't even believe what he's seeing. He's stumbling around the beach, asking if this is real. After 20 years, he might have actually made it. That's the face of a man who just beat the final boss and is watching the end credits roll. And there it is, the mainland. Not a sandbar, not a trick. The 20-year nightmare is actually over. Zeke's just floating, his brain finally catching up to the fact that he's not actively being eaten. And the old man is on the beach, screaming his head off. He actually fucking survived the whole goddamn series of L's. The narrator confirms it's day 57, and after 20 years, my man is finally back on the mainland. The Hell Island arc is over. But his victory lap is cut short as his dad brain reboots and he immediately starts thinking about Nova. He's looking around, realizing the kid who was supposed to wash up first is nowhere to be found. My man's screaming for Nova, the panic officially setting in now that the adrenaline has worn off. He's still searching the empty beach, and the story hits us with a dramatic but, which is never good news. The narrator confirms what we're seeing. After all that, he's alone again. The kid is officially MIA. And we get a 100-day time skip. Bro, Nova has been missing for over 3 months. This is not good. A triceratops is running for its life, which means Zeke's bucket list is finally on the menu, but who cares now? Zeke's stomping around fully in his apex predator era now that he's on the mainland. My man's roaring like he owns the place, finally getting to hunt something bigger than a damn fish. He's already taken down a triceratops, confirming he's adapted to the new food chain. The triceratops is looking absolutely terrified. Zeke is officially the new final boss of this area. But even as he's chowing down, My man's admitting this new life ain't hitting the same. He's just dragging his dinner home, looking like he's on the saddest grocery run of all time. Zeke admits that even with all this space, his mind is still stuck back on that hell island. My man's just staring into space, confirming he's still hung up on the island he spent 20 years trying to escape. And we're flashing back to some muddy water, probably right after he washed up from that storm. The story confirms it's day 1 on the mainland 100 days ago, and he's just found a fossil. Back to day 1, Zeke's having a full-blown panic attack, screaming for the kid he just sacrificed himself for. My man's just yelling into the void, realizing his big hero moment might have just gotten the kid deleted. The narrator confirms he just paced the beach like a psycho, looking for any sign of his emotional support dumbass. He kept at it all day, probably running on pure adrenaline and the fear of being alone again. And the verdict is in, the kid is officially MIA. The universe really gave him one win and then took it back. Zeke's looking absolutely defeated but refuses to give up. My man's sad boy phase is fighting to come back. He's trying to do the math, saying if his half-dead ass washed up, Nova and his log raft should be fine. We flash back to the kid on the log, and Zeke's clinging to the hope that their suicide plan actually worked. My man's giving himself a pep talk, refusing to take this L after everything they just survived, and he's back in the game, vowing to find Nova. The Find the Lost Child side quest is officially active. Zeke's narrating his big promise to find Nova, refusing to believe the kid got deleted after all that. My man's explaining his initial plan was to just hug the coastline, hoping the kid would eventually wash up. He went full grind mode, skipping sleep and food just to patrol the beach for any sign of his boy. Zeke's just screaming into the void, hoping his emotional support dumbass will just magically appear. And we hit a 2-month time skip. My man's been at this for a minute, and the hope is officially fading. We just see his footprints in the mud, a perfect visual for the endless, soul-crushing search he's been on. Zeke's looking absolutely drained, the full weight of being alone again finally hitting him like a truck. And he finally calls it quits on the beach patrol, realizing he has to move inland to survive. My man's looking grim as hell, finally accepting he's got to focus on himself, even if it means giving up hope. The narrator confirms his battle scars from the sea psycho are healed, but you know the emotional damage is permanent. Zeke's admitting he's finally eating good, but his brain is already looking for a distraction. My man's walking it off, wondering why his big win feels so damn empty. The post-game depression is real. And of course, he ends up back at the beach, getting nostalgic about his emotional support dumbass. He's just staring at the sky, reminiscing about the Hell Island like it was a goddamn vacation spot. My man's realizing he hasn't even touched his old hobby, fishing, since he got here. The trauma runs deep. He admits that out of 20 years, the 50 days with Nova are all he can think about. Damn the feels. Zeke's wondering if the days are longer or if he's just lonely as hell. Bro, it's the second one. And we get a pterosaur shot because the story needs to remind us this world is still trying to kill him. A whole herd of triceratops is just vibing, showing off the buffet Zeke has access to now. But Zeke's just standing there, looking at all this freedom and feeling absolutely nothing. My man is broken. Zeke's in his feels, comparing his regrets to waves. My man's post-game depression is hitting a new level. He's realizing he never even dropped his villain origin story for Nova, kept that shit locked down tight. My man's wondering why he was so ashamed of his past, like he was hiding some cringe fanfiction. He's trying to brush it off like it's no big deal, but you know that shit is eating him up inside. And we get a sad, lonely wave shot to really drive home the emo vibes. Zeke's just staring into the void, completely lost in the sauce of his own memories. And we're flashing back to Nova calling him out for being a closed book. The kid was on his ass about it. That's the eye of a man realizing he missed his chance to open up. The regret is palpable. Nova's begging for the lore drop, but Zeke's trying to dodge the question like it's a sea psycho. The kid's still pushing, saying he wants to hear it all. Zeke's looking like he just got called out in front of the class. And flashback Nova is throwing a full-on tantrum, telling Zeke to cut the crap and give him the lore drop. Zeke just sighs, probably realizing this kid is never gonna let him live in peace with his secrets. Back in the present, my man's getting nostalgic about Nova's angry little face. The post-game depression is hitting hard. He's accepting he'll never see him again, and then Nova just pops up out of nowhere. The plot armor is insane. Zeke's eye goes wide, his brain trying to process if he's finally hallucinating from loneliness. My man just lets out a roar that probably shook the whole continent, scaring the absolute hell out of the kid. Zeke's losing his mind asking how he's here, while Nova's just worried about his eardrums. Priorities. The old man admits he thought Nova was dead, and the tough guy act is officially starting to crack. Nova calls him out for crying, and you just know the kid is feeling smug as hell about it. And Zeke immediately goes full tsundere, denying everything and calling him a brat. The dynamic is officially back. Zeke's trying to pull the angry dad card, but Nova's just calling him out for dodging the whole crying situation. The old man immediately tries to change the subject, but that guilty look on his face says it all. Nova's giving his official report, admitting he's a little late to the party. Understatement of the century, my guy. The kid's asking if it's cool he's 100 days late, and Zeke's just processing that his emotional support dumbass is actually real. Nova's just beaming, completely confident that everything is fine now that the team is back together. Zeke finally drops the tough guy act and welcomes the kid back. The found family is officially reunited on the beach. The narrator's getting all philosophical on us, showing a pterosaur to transition out of the emo reunion arc. And we get a shot of some triceratops, reminding us that the mainland is a whole new world of potential snacks. More dino locals are just vibing, showing off how much life is here compared to their old hell island. The narrator hits us with a final path of life line over a sea creature, wrapping up the reunion with some deep thoughts. The narrator's getting all philosophical about their new path. Bro, their path is just try not to die today. Nova's already on his next side quest, find my dad, and asks Zeke what his post-game plans are. Zeke's like, "You think I'm letting you go alone?" The found family road trip is officially a go. The kid immediately cashes in his IOU, demanding the villain origin story Zeke promised him. Nova's hitting him with the receipts, reminding him he promised a full lore drop once they hit the mainland. Zeke tries to stall, hitting him with the classic "but." My man is trying to weasel out of this so hard. The old man flips it, saying he'll only spill the tea if Nova explains his 100-day ghosting act first. Zeke's looking smug as hell, asking if they have a deal. My man's playing 4D chess for story time. The kid's brain is buffering, trying to decide if this trade-off is worth it for the premium content. And there's the side-eye. Nova's not buying this shit, but you know he's gonna take the deal. We're flashing back to Nova throwing another tantrum, calling Zeke a liar while Zeke hits him with the "you'll get it when you're older" boomer logic. And the kid is having none of it, just screaming his head off. The disrespect is real. Back in the present, Zeke finally caves and starts the lore drop. The narrator's getting all dramatic, so you know this backstory is going to be heavy.